This, more land, not the matrix. Tricks, Lord's plan versus the ape wits. Writs of discovery affidavit, this is. Not mob land, Moor's land. Uno rest that we suffer, uno nest on the flesh that we come through. Keep six from who? Dirty Moors in the mix, selling packages for the nation. It's part and partial. Ask them where you going, Satan. Calling. Wanna blackmail you to do something positive. In the black market, the CEOs are foreigners. On Black Friday, see them pile up, no one going in. Move like it, spit like a cobra while they super lift like a vulture. With losers, there's no winners. Stand on the cube, not a 2D curse. Who's overseeing the feud could easily diffuse, but refuse. They put you in the unknown sanctum. Bulla, I'm not talking sweet, tell you the whole shit. Unknown sanctum fight. Unknown sanctum breakfast fight. Love to the high get. Peace when it's my pie. Unknown sanctum color of flies. Unknown sanctum fight. Unknown sanctum picky fight. Unknown sanctum fight. Picky fight. Unknown sanctum fight. Unknown sanctum breakfast fight. Love truth, but how you get peace when it's my pie. Unknown sanctum color of flies. Pick the fight. So you pick the fight. What? Been a long time, you ain't wised up. Are you innocent when you living with the sin? Slap life in the dead meat, trap the niggas in. Black be the sunshine, new era that we in is back from time immemorial. Be us, we'll turn the first page to read the cover. So judge not, silly Billy, always doing what Simon says up on Morocco, not Barack. Old B, Bush, a Trump B, gonna make the country great again. Cool, 1861, took back on the 6th convention by the noble Jews saying, it's been a long time since the low and high meet again. The ring with the gang, the rule man's room, where humanity is groomed, gradually you bloom. Come out, daddy, join the rank, you would gladly, qualitatively be family. No color applies.
Yo, status is first, a certificate at my birth. Made my blessing of life a curse. Going in my mom's purse and my dad's wallet. Doing things I shouldn't be doing, but I lack knowledge. No ancestral homage, only need Tajim and Lamsey. On the other side, only knew Popeye and Granny. I learned a lot, not enough street taught me to eat my hustle. And never knew the more bites of muscle men. Only muscle men I knew lifted weights on bars. Most of my heroes from our hood looked through bars. Punchers in backs faced with scars. Told me store weed in jars. Get freedom, they just want to see stars. Saying things change when you live on a range where grown men don't act their age and act in rage as he turns life's page and welcomes change. Can't be black, that hex keeps your minds enslaved. Don't be offended when they say we not black. Moors have a status, they can't make us a stat. Might be a ball cap, not a fez we rockin'. Moorish, more aboriginal, I'm rockin'. Don't be offended when we say we not black. Moors have a status, they can't make us a stat. Might be a ball cap, not a fez we rockin'. Moorish, more aboriginal, I'm rockin'. It's not just me, my people are tripping, playing racism and prejudice, playing the victim, victimizing themselves, won't be responsible, still calling Inquisition, clan, highwayman, constable, and officer, KRS-One told you overseer, faith is lost in fruition, open slap a believer, believing when the brood of believers lie, conscious coons love to debate, I don't know why, passing collection plates, conscious ties get paid, followers dumb, it's not where you at, but where you from, too many mental blockages, clear you some, like phlegm on your chest, correct your status, most would hear you son, with no stress or arguments, we forever students, feel no way to dead a nuisance, stabbed to death with facts and truth, left black and blue, facing the corner with a gun's cap on you, don't be offended when we say we not black, Moors have a status, they can't make us a stat, might be a ball cap, not a fez we rockin', Moorish, more aboriginal, I'm a rockin', don't be offended when we say we not black, Moors have a status, they can't make us a stat, might be a ball cap, not a fez we rockin', Moorish, more aboriginal, I'm a rockin'. Flashbacks of dead days, drinking 40s of Schlitz, bought blue paper spliffs, before Bloods and Crips at CMP, Nia telling us raise our consciousness, and stop rhyming about nonsense, gotta say thanks cause that brother was on it, if I could go back, trust that I would be on it. No sweat or regrets, though still made it. Thanks to Allah, our ancestors were patient. Let me do my PS, escaping scars and jail bars. Drunk, putting pedal to the metal, and crash no cars. So protected, even though I neglected. Higher self, all those years, lower self accepted. Finally inspected and lower self rejected like Mayday. Learned many lessons in my heyday. In many sessions, bumping Mark Deep and Smith and Wesson. Around thought like all you hear about is weapons. From pistols to blades, Rambo or butterfly style. Pigs always shake you down cause of the gutter lifestyle. It was really preparation, nowadays for what we facing, and defending against corpse nations. Don't be offended when we say we not black. Moors have a status, they can't make us a stat. Might be a ball cap, not a fez we rockin'. Moorish, more aboriginal, I'm a rockin'. Don't be offended when we say we not black. Moors have a status, they can't make us a stat. Might be a ball cap, not a fez we rockin'. Moorish, more aboriginal, I'm a rockin'.
Man, I see the strongest and smartest men who've ever lived. I see all this potential. That's the swamp. God damn it, an entire generation pumping gas, waiting tables, slaves with white collars.
Marcus Garvey got my right, Drew Ali got my left side. Hook pulling for devil's hides with the valley of death stride. Blade dirty like it doesn't shower, tongue is the sword. Moorish master MC Moore, I self am Lord. Accent of Tony Martin and Kwame Ture. They poison Steve Coakley, exposing the black boule. Threatening Ivan Van Sertima with deportation to his own land he's in. So you know some Masons are pulling strings to shut him up for saying Olmecs. Speaking the truth of those existing before Toltecs and Aztecs and Mayan. So-called blacks are the Hawaiian and the American and the free white man. Stop the blood clot crying. Irish nigga fighting a dancing monkey. Disgrace the race, slap a mumble rap chunky. Take your mask off, show you the future, give you nervous sweats. Listen to yourself singing about Molly and Percocets.
Advertising has us chasing cars and clothes, working jobs we hate, and we buy shit we don't need.
I see y'all wearing skinny jeans and sagging and sports bra shirts, calling Hochi to bury them in Calgary far outskirts, too grizzly to bear. I'm fair falling off this frisbee, I swear. Never mind sight impaired, stay on my square. 7 and 4 quadrant ring. I'm on my knees, not praying. I'm strangling gin with rude Raksha beads. Some might say mala, some might call it a Buddhist chain. In times of war, everything is a weapon just the same as everything above has it below. Check the facts in stone, or if you can find one, ask a pharaoh. What Orion and Sirius have to do with the plateau of Giza. Ancestors thought project place to place like Freezer. More scientists, Sufi, shut up and down believers. Make those with little faith become ancestral receivers. Through signs and symbols, rhymes and signals. Either abandon or get your birthright like a retriever. Abandon or get your birthright like a retriever. No need to bring it back, you need no shepherd. Stop being a sheep. Black, stop wasting effort. Stop letting traders chill, drop them off in deserts. I buzz at dinner, a sellout. Before I get the hell out, I listen to what Drew Ali taught, he didn't have to yell out. Ref, bring the bell out, Shango, the chicken heads out. Merge shaman stones and tiger eyes, help the spell out. Cool Bay, the reason El Shabazz and Ali fell out. Moore's disgruntled and watching people with brows crumble to be exalted, but praise themselves never humble. Begging for props, wanting segregation, but calling the cops, then calling them racist after someone gets shot or beat to blew a pulp or choked out. R.I.P. The ancestors let your devil self haunt their dreams. Tortured forever and ever, have peace never. So low, make their head hurt with biometric pressure.
History, man. No purpose, no place. We have no Great War, no Great Depression. Our Great War is a spiritual war. Our Great Depression is our lives.
Why you don't pull up on the passenger side of the police car and bust on the police instead of your brother? I've never heard of it. You say you're a gangster. Gangster. Gangster.
Black power, my ass, y'all just playing the ass posing, frontin', no bustin', no dirty cock gun button. At least more's right, rich, trying to do something. Pen as my weapon, feathers up in turbans, no bluffing. Don't get it twisted, sort of more get handcuffing. Judges dismiss cases, prosecutors cussing, telling my guys recuse themselves or get sued. Civil rights leaders are conscious black marching on news, stopping traffic, or people that didn't kill their sons and daughters. In Canaanland, we call you writing out of order. Nationality has me awake like a sleep disorder. While most wear blinders, my peripherals broader. For the record, I sweat nervous part recorders. In Admiralty, maritime shores, Moors walk on water. Engines return with another kills, no sight blurred. While they stay killing their minds and saying they learn.
Why you don't pull up on the passenger side of the police car and bust on the police instead of your brother? I've never heard of it. You say you're a gangster.
Your forefathers had names before they became slaves. Seems like today it's only nicknames and pain. You should be learning so pain could stop from these vermin. German Nazi Inquisition is enslaving with sermons. Declared independence, still giving Moors reverence. Talking treaties with Muslims that overlong us entrance into the entrance masses. Keep them docile and passive. Killing them, corralling black backing like hostile fascists. Take oaths to break them, unless it's from the Lord. They give prophets who take them and neglect ancestors. Playing Mr. Tuffy, smoking a Dutch from the same master, bully stealing your money for lunch. Wanna drink from their bowl cause they spike their punch. With Clorox, I'm not guessing, but I have a hunch. I can say I stand up to mercenary punks while you face proposing with blocks cocked and shotguns pumped.
Why you don't pull up on the passenger side of the police car and bust on the police instead of your brother? I've never heard of it. You say you're a gangster.
If you got guns and use them on targets moving. Try KKK badge carriers in your hood cruising. I'm not promoting violence, it's a point I'm proving. Moore's methods do work, but Coons disapproving. Khalid calling you out, but you're attacking the sheep and wanna show me how good you are with your hands and feet. Never challenge a cop when they arresting your brother, but we'll wear hoods and hold skittles one after another. Acting with lethal weapons, you know, Gibsons and gloves. Shot in the back of watching you suffer. Black standing on corners in seconds like smothered. She forgave him for his son's death, but listen to mother. Listen to common exercising his five senses. To end racism, stop looking through racial lenses. Look at constitutional, not civil defenses. Stop marching. The only thing that pickets is fences.
Why you don't pull up on the passenger side of the police car and bust on the police instead of your brother? I've never heard of it. You say you're a gangster. Why you don't pull up on the passenger side of the police car and bust on the police instead of your brother? I've never heard of it. You say you're a gangster. I've never heard of it.
As he walked past the city's castle, he interrupted his return and climbed the stone ramp that led to the top of the wall. From there, he could see Africa in the distance. Someone had once told him that it was from there the Moors had come to
So it's gonna get you in. What? What? I'm rocking. Who says we ain't in the building? Who says we ain't into building? We the Moor, master masons, architects for your children, rapping Friday 30s like Jason, without the killing. But we promote life, oh, it's all about the feeling. And we invoke light, yo, we them light beings. Though you might see him on the block getting this posture, might be talking to cops, giving them caution, occasionally wearing his vest when he's walking, see the turning heads, whispering, gawking. So it's gonna get you in. What? What? I'm rocking. Who says we ain't in the building? Who says we ain't into building? We the Moor, master masons, architects for your children, rapping Friday 30s like Jason, without the killing. But we promote life, oh, it's all about the feeling. And we invoke light, yo, we them light beings. Though you might see him on the block getting this posture, might be talking to cops, giving them caution, occasionally wearing his vest when he's walking, see the turning heads, whispering, gawking. But he's locked in, and he's zoned out, while we box in our own house.
Study the mystics, the adepts, the magi, wisdom of the ancients can all calcify ours. Possible mission, free mental numbness, extract the substance with minds of dumbness. Use the source, don't care what's some purport, as we know by being told man knows not. Many before the floor, souls got born, placed in the devil's hands, ruling the seven lands. To dogma rituals, negro spirituals, brainwash subliminal, keeps thinking to a minimal. They still criminal, in a world digital so pitiful. Mental survival so critical, it's visible. Can you see past like this box? Hashtag zombies with waves of cyberpunk. No need for cell phones, they speak from soft arms. It's nothing for alarm, chips and forearms.
Wind, brass, and bass, such a beautiful serenade. Women feeding me grapes, I'm feeding the enemy's serenade. Whether the sky is clear or gray, rain when you hear it fake, giving life to see. Speaking through who not here today. Show you the future in a glimpse. And I was built to these holes like evolutionary things. Sun walked the desert, been more of a since I found God. Look back, used to see his prince. Forget being a prince, I'm a G. OD, grown man, no jokey. Deny me, you don't know me. Don't make me tap into the old me. That's like a couple hundred years. Walk around town with a couple hundred peers and release the peace of up fears. The sun gon' shine, so what tears? This young brother here just trying to get his third eye clear.
This Moors don't sleep. Invest in your mind, body, and unleash. Real life rap, spitting over tracks. Conscious thinking and living and then attack. This Moors don't sleep. Invest in your mind, body, and unleash. Real life rap, spitting over tracks. Conscious thinking and living and then attack.
So as the moon sets, the sun takes its place, and spoons on blocks, inspired spots, fill spaces, peel back, rats, who got cases, fire stain the corridors of level faces, game changers, rule benders, and no pretenders, style benders, channel my vibe through the vibrant optic lenses, send a message to our veterans, soldiers up and get it in. We on our birds, we are merged, subliminal beings, third eye seeing, still I participate unwilling.
They wanna break me, Shakespeare break me, rolling with my main G, double O-N-B, S-O-N is crazy, for a minute that you think you could take me for a fool, like a native to his land, being schooled by a foreign group, you mistaken me, spiders on the roof, in the dark rooms, I can tell you mistaken me, you better move, or I'm market, power pen is my tongue, your resistance to target, revealing all lies and deceit on the market, genocide, carry out in pockets, I knock it, down bulldozer, they be to Goliath, it's an exposure, some big heads healing and it's getting closer to your downfall, round up on your soldiers.
Little homie, I was seeking a fortune, tired of misfortune. I just wanted a portion, everything that I never had, though I needed my portion. Blowing like porcelain, haters battling porcelain. Getting broke, tired of being broke. How we acquire hope is a deep skill as a dope, just to keep us afloat. Mind is deep as the boat, brain is a lethal weapon. We want it to below. When I speak, I'm a broke. Walk in the room with my aura feeling like heavy smoke. Feel like when they let me broke. Under my Louis fitted to send me coke. Cause them be cops and take the ball, yeah, the joke. The cost of living, higher profits and private prison. These little girls are studying body just to pay tuition. These little niggas studying niggas just to build condition. It's like this thing can never end the prison in the mission. I wanna free the world, but I'm one man. A couple ones like me and me one plan. I wanna free the world, but I'm one man. A couple ones like me and one plan.
Islam was Canaanland Moors Thursday Sons of Allah special edition. Miss couldn't make it tonight. All is well, no worries, you know what I mean? But Moors are active, not passive. So, you know how it is. It's on to all the Moors worldwide. Peace to the brother too. Give thanks for the upload. I know everybody's excited for the Mantis views dropping something. So just letting you know, there's definitely more on the way. For sure. There's more on the way. But give thanks to Mantis Views for part 1. And also, Mantis Views 29. Don't forget the 29. Be hunting for Mantis View. Where is it? Cujo said it, didn't I? So, also remember, we're going to be replacing the Sons of Allah at 9 o'clock next week or whatever, right? So, this is the replacement for today so that, Moors aren't mad they didn't get something on their Thursday. So we got something for you on your Thursday. Once again, we rise and give honors to Allah for giving us this great opportunity to experience. Just to experience. Whatever it is, positive, negative, it's all about experience. So we give thanks. And we give honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, of course, sent by Allah to redeem the nations, especially the Negro, black, colored nations that really don't know that. But we're going to be on our side of the movement, because there's many that in the movement with turbans and fezzes on still playing this thing of not give honors to RV Bay publications. Supreme honors. They still want to play around, throw their name in their little videos and stuff like that to try to sneak this. And all we have to do is keep stressing the point that this is about study, study, study. And when you go to rvbaypublication.com and you read, just pick anything, click it, and you just read that page. And if that doesn't convince you to study, you're just like these people talking BS about rvbaypublications.com. And of course, we gotta bring in the co-hosts, since we're doing the special edition today. Islam, Moor. Islam. I don't know if we want to give any first shout outs.
Yeah, just give thanks to the Moors that's tuning in to the Sons of Allah tonight. Give thanks to, Grand Sheik for letting me, fill in for Miz. Even though you can't fill in for Miz. There's no, you know what I mean? I'm gonna try to just do my best though,
One thing I like about Moors, studious Moors and active Moors, is that they always pass the buck.
Oh yeah.
Nah, well, you know what I mean? Honors to him though, because he's the man.
Yep, you know it.
Right? Because we got the Quran lessons. It's all about uplifting our people, our brother, our sister, or whoever that wants to be uplifted. So we're just gonna start. We're gonna go back and to bringing the people back into the constitutional fold of government by Rosmariah V. Bay, founder of rvbaypublications.com, people talking BS about all the time. Now, we're going here because I'm from the generation of Moors who have master teachers. We have master teachers. And I mean, we meet them.
Are you Kevin? No. It's from Capital One. Oh, you're Kevin? No. Yeah, you said you were. So,
There's a lot more.
Yes, ma'am.
So we started out with bringing the people back into the constitutional fold of government by Rosmariah V. Bay. Preface by Taj Tariq Bey. The information in this booklet is not designed or presented to condemn or attack any association, institution, organization, temple, or person. It is presented in goodwill to state some vital truths about the return of the natural people, Moors, back into the constitutional fold of government, which is incumbent upon the Moorish Holy Temple of Science and its other associated institutions. This is confirmed by the charter and purpose of the establishment and existence as founded and dedicated by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali. This modern day Moorish movement, 1913 plus, embodied a program which includes the establishment and administration of temples for propagating the faith and extending the learning and truth of the great Prophet Ali in America, and to appoint and consecrate missionaries of the Prophet and to establish the faith of Muhammad in America. The Moorish Holy Temple of Science, registered as a civic organization, included with its well-structured program these indispensable component parts. rvbaypublications.com has been doing the work of civic instruction, making sure that the Moors understand the truth about their nationality and birthrights. Because what we've seen happen is that Moors have taken the position of using the Moorish Science Temple of America as just an institution for some type of club perspective, some type of join, and when you join, it's just like joining anything else out there that you join. When Noble Drew Ali told the Moors about their nationality and birthrights, they have the book talking about the oral statements, and that as Moors, certain things were put on the record for the individual to take for themselves, not because a grand sheikh said or a grand governor said or whatever, because Noble Drew Ali always made reference that this is yours, that you have to protect it. You have to be the one to take into consideration the best way for you to get yourself in track, because we've been off track for so long, way off track. So like I said, you would go onto that website and you would click one thing. Just find something on the website. click anything. There's a lot of things to click. The first thing that you see, click that. And then you read what you just clicked. That is supposed to inspire you to start taking civic instructions more seriously. Because the whole point is that he told us we're not Negro, black, and colored, that we're Moors. But we've done so much dirt in Negro, black, colored. That's what the door knock was about. Dirt done as Negro, black, colored. That Kudro's been waiting for them to send the paper, so he can go and talk on behalf of this fraud that they're trying to impress as if they have certain authority. When everything comes down to status, but status has nothing to do with somebody who's a no-name that knocks the door. Status has to do with the people who you have these fraudulent contracts with. And that these fraudulent contracts that we have are always going to be there. Until what? Until we take the mindset of we're civic minded and deal with the BS that we got ourselves into. Because there's no other remedy for us other than us being civic minded. But in order to be civic minded, just like we're saying, in order to be, the reason why a lot of people don't want to be Moors is because now you have to take responsibility. You can't just be loosey-goosey anymore. Because you understand that these people are dealing with fraudulent contracts that they're imposing, which has to be violation of people's rights. There's no way that any of these contracts that we have, just like the Moor is talking about, that you can't even water the plants, so you got to pay for water. You tell me that's not unconscionable? You tell me that's not a violation of rights? And again, it's being done by corporations that are foreign to this jurisdiction that we know is Morocco, that has a treaty that these Europeans are supposed to abide by. So the whole concept of civic instruction was taken outside of the realm of learning for Moors, who had fezzes on, turbans on, and all that stuff. All they knew was Holy Quran of Moor Science Temple, 101 questionnaire, Moorish literature, and whatever other literature that was put out by Moorish Guide or whatever. And they were limited to that. That's what they were limited to. They were limited to that. RV Bay Publications reintroduced on a broad scale, not just going classes and going and doing lectures, and not that level, on the level of www. RV Bay Publications extended the Moorish paradigm to around the world. Because we know Moors around the world who will say that RV Bay Publications saved their life. Like, we know them personally. And when we say RV Bay Publications saved their life, that's not just some statement that we're saying to sound good. We're talking about people who were in madhouses. People were in concentration camps called prison. People's children kidnapped by these criminals. They didn't get mad. They didn't go nuts. They didn't go crazy because of how they were talking. What they were doing was studying. And the more that they studied, the more that people started to fear them. And the more that they studied, the more people started to fear them. And drastic times call for drastic measures. And the most drastic thing you could do is go cold turkey on everything and go study. You really are about freeing yourself, which is what these people were about, because they realized that it's back against the wall right now. What am I going to do? And when they studied, they went and they started gathering information from this website that led them into other places that they never even had these thoughts in their mind to even think about certain things. What do you mean we're indigenous to this land? What do you mean by that? What do you mean we're the Americans? Like, what do you mean? Nobody used to talk about this before RV Bay publications.
Yep.
Only Moors were talking about this. As far as putting information out from the perspective of you're going here and you're getting everything that you need. You don't have to go anywhere else for anything. This is what the issue is. Because they didn't play club. They put all the information out there. And a servant is worthy of his hire. Like if you go check the website, it's extensive. Somebody has to sit there and upload all that stuff on there. You can at least support by a book. The least you could do is that, because you don't even need to buy any books. You could save yourself just going on the website. Really and truly. Yep. Because that's initially what it started out as. It was, like, it's about getting the information out. But there's so much info. And then, well, why hold it back? You might as well just put it out there. Decided to do that. Did that. Did that. Which is all right. Which is quite all right. Now remember that the Moorish Science Temple of America is represented through rvbaypublications.com, through our temple. So don't think they're against the temple because they talk about the temple's this and temple that or whatever. They don't have a problem with the temple. The problem is the leadership that's in the temple.
Right.
In all the temples. The issue is it's not the Moor Science Temple is the problem. I don't care if it's a religious organization, if they 501c3, it doesn't even matter. Because that's not what this is about. This is about the individuals who are in there that took this and played games with it, with the people. Not play games to make the foreigner think that this is something that it's not, and then in the background they're teaching the people the real stuff. They actually rob the people. And in them robbing the people, that's how they gain where they're at today. That you're going to hear names get thrown around and titles get thrown around and all that stuff. And you think that this is something, but then when you look at other organizations and associations, whatever, you're seeing that, hold on a second, well, how come these guys could go to Gaddafi and get 5 billion? And then Moor Science Temple, who've been around before them, Gaddafi's not calling? Like, why go to them? What history didn't he have that made him go to them instead of going to the Moor Science Temple? The leadership of the Moor Science Temple. Because remember, why wouldn't Gaddafi talk to them? Because remember, those Moors, Morocco was sending letters to the Moors. Morocco was sending ambassadors to go visit Moor Science Temple people. That their centennial celebration of Noble Juali Moroccan ambassadors are there. Why are they going there? They're going there for fun? They're just going there just to make a mockery of the Moors? Or did Moor Science Temple of America have certain relations on, you know, the high level? The ones that are inside is what the problem is. The ones that were inside. Islam, Moore, you have anything to add before we continue on?
Islam, just because you had brought up RV Bay publication and, you know, just staying on there on the online university, like, you know, just to add on to that, like, people, we all know that's the whole foundation. That's why we always, as soon as we start using examples for people before they start wandering off, but looking for something else, and their whole foundation should be RV Bay publication. Like, your first thing that should be your thought process is with RV Bay publication. And then once you branch off from there, you are already 20 steps ahead of everybody else just because your background is RV Bay publication. Like, that's, like, I'm glad he brought it up because he even said when he was talking about the books when you get from there, even if you buy one book, they send you so much stuff, it's ridiculous. The extra stuff that they send you, that you can be sitting there studying that for another 8 months. Off of the one book that you ordered, they send you all these other things that you can be studying. I was just looking; it's been years. I still have the stuff, like the bill of particulars on the back when it asks us the questions.
Yeah. That's the one right there, you know. The one with the Olmec on it? Yeah. That's the Olmec one, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the best. That when you sit there and you look at that, like, you really like, oh my, like, that's amazing. Like, you know, because you look at it now, like when you first seen it.
Yeah.
Like, I remember first looking at this, like, okay, you got to remember, this is how bad the mind was at this time. Like,
hold on, I found it. Hold on, I found it. What part? Read the questions?
Yes.
Okay. This is why RV Bay Publications is the best, and anybody dissing, you're a clown. You're a clown. Bill of Particulars, right? This is what Moor Science Temple of America administrators don't teach you. They don't go into this area of thinking. Because once you go there, you realize you don't need them. All you have to do is just study. Study. You don't need them.
Yeah.
What your job is is to assist them if they're doing good work. Which is why Moor Science Temple of America, Canaanland, assists rvbaypublications.com by using our temple as an outlet for their literature. So don't say that they're not with the temple and all that stuff, because that's BS. Because they're with the temple 100. It's these clowns that are the leadership that the problem is with. Bill of Particulars. We pose the following questions as keys to inspire others to think, so they may better help to restore this fallen nation. And remember, this is from, actually, that's crazy. The Bill of Particulars is nature and RV Bay.
Which is a temple, another temple.
Right, which is another temple. We pose the following questions as keys to inspire others to think, so they may better help to restore this fallen nation. Who and what is Black America? What is the nationality of a Black American? Are people identified by colors? What is the national flag of Black Americans? What constitution secures and protects the inalienable rights of Black Americans? What is the divine title of the Black government? What are the descent names of their forefathers? What land is associated with their descent names? What is the free national name and religion they claim?
These are very, very powerful questions. Like, cause you gotta, like, I remember getting this.
Yeah.
You know, when you first start ordering your books and you get the stuff, you know, early, and you're like, okay, I gotta study, and you want to do studying hard, but your background, your mentality is still slave mentality. You still got a lot of it on you in the beginning. So let me tell you what me personally. So now I'm a little bit thinking I know something. Smart dummy. Let me tell you nothing's worse than a smart dummy. Now look, I would literally look at these questions and be like, who and what is Black America? Now me, I would go try to figure out what that is. Like it existed. Like I would try to find it. Spend hours trying to research, and I'm like, yo, I can't find no who and what is Black America. Like, what is that? Where is Black? Like, literally trying to break it down and would find nothing, but not knowing, like, yo, the question is like rhetorical. You don't have to. It's nothing deep. Black is a color. You still slave mentality. Though I couldn't get it out my head in the beginning. I'm still looking up Black people as a people that could be of a nation or something. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm looking for that. Like, and there is none of that. Every time you go look for it, it goes straight to the slave ship. What is Black America? It goes straight to slave ship. But I still know, like, okay, when you are RV Day, they automatically tell you that, teachers, the transatlantic slave trade didn't go as they say. You know what I mean? So I'm already knowing. Well, I know that that's not me, because even, knowing that I'm from here, I didn't come off no slave ship. So that's not it. But there's still the warpness of the Black thinking that could be a people. And what is the nationality of a Black American? I tried to figure that out. You know what I mean? The foundation was still slave foundation. That's why I said earlier, once your foundation is RV Bay Publications, then you're 20 steps ahead of everybody.
Exactly.
Because remember, that's what I'm saying. Everybody else's foundation is slave foundation. Eurocentric colonization taking over a thought process. That's why when I say that, I really mean that. Like RV Day Publications, foundation. That's what your foundation should be. Because you already know, ain't no Negro colored, Black colored, African American. Those are foreigners. I'm the Aboriginal indigenous people to the land. They don't have no authority over here. That's automatic foundation before. Now, what's going on? Now, after all of that is said, what do you want? Foreigner guy. Like, that's what you even when we're studying, we automatically know who they talking about.
Yeah.
They talking about Moors. And then, once again, once you're studying RBJ publications, you know that the denationality, the Spanish Inquisition is still continuing with the denationalization of the Moors. When they call us Moriscos, when they, taking the religion overlay, trying to make us Christians and stuff like that, they still trying to, and to the point where now, if you say you're a Moor, they don't even, black guy who says he's a Moor, or some black guy who's in the Moor science temple. That's what the colonists, when they put in the media, that's what they say. Like, they don't know that we are the Moors.
Mm-hmm.
That's still Spanish Inquisition practices. But if your foundation is slave mentality, when you see that on the media, you automatically think, yo, these guys are crazy, man. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are going crazy. They're here in the United States bugging because these white men, like, that's their mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And they're looking at us like we're bugging. Like, oh, that's them sovereign citizen stuff. Like, once your foundation is RV-Bay publication, because they automatically show you. And don't believe nothing they say. Look it up. Fact check it. Triple check it.
Yeah. Triple check it.
That's why I'm glad you brought that up, because that's the whole foundation.
Yeah.
You go on there now, and you automatically see that they got something on there we ain't never seen before. You be like, where did they get this? When did they put this up here?
Where did they pull this from?
When did this get up here?
All right.
But that's the dojo. That's where everybody's going to get their training.
Exactly. That's the Great Pyramid. That's
Exactly.
That's where you're going to get it. That's where you're going and spending 50 years to show yourself approved.
Yep.
And we're not talking about some Europeans coming to our school. We're talking about us. Forget we taught some Europeans and they went for 50 years. We too.
Yeah.
You're just Europeans going there for 50 years to learn or whatever. But you're the gods and stuff like that. You're no jack either. You're a dumb nigger.
Right.
Hell, you know.
We probably got it the worst because we should know better.
Well, you know we got it the
Probably
worst.
had to go to the mystery schools 80 years, 90 years. You should know better. You better get it. Every time you get something wrong, we added another 10 years.
Yeah. The intent. It has become clear that the Moorish divine and national movement of the world was established for humanitarian purposes and should not be suppressed by anyone who desires to help to make our world a better place to live in for all of humanity. This moral and ethical charge of responsibility is for all conscious Moors, particularly in America, whether they be active or passive, whether they possess an abundance of knowledge or do not possess an abundance of knowledge. This moral and ethical charge of being responsible for humanity falls on all Moors, whether you're active or passive. It falls on you to uplift fallen humanity. So you have no choice but to be civic-minded. And again, if you're civic-minded, it's probably your administration playing around with you. Because we know there's Moors that's so-called grand whoever's and have titles that it's open. It's in the open that you can pay them and get some type of authority from Moor Science Temple. Easy as that. You don't even have to show yourself approved anymore. You don't have to show yourself approved. Now, anybody could be the scholar right now. But are they looking out for humanity or are they looking out for themselves? Are they carrying on the moral and ethical charge? Or are they trying to play like you need them for something? Most, not all people, oh yeah. And another reason why they're mad, the Temple Moors are mad, is because RV-Bay stands from a position of being connected to the Moorish divine and national movement of the world, which was brought to the Moors by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Because of the
limited scope of the Temple Moors perspective, they themselves call themselves Moor Science Temple of America, but they're mad at somebody using Moorish Divine and National Movement, even though they don't use it like that. They taught Moor Science Temple of America more than Moorish Divine National Movement. Moor Science Temple is of America. Moorish Divine National Movement is of the world. Clearly, they're not working for humanity. If you can represent Noble Drew Ali, uplifting fallen humanity, from the perspective of America and the perspective of the world, and you choose of America opposed to of the world, you're not for humanity. You're a violator of Noble Drew Ali's lessons, teachings, warnings, orders. You're in violation. Because you're supposed to be humanitarian. This is a Rotarian complexion. That's humanitarian. Even Moor Science Temple of America is supposed to be humanitarian. Even Moor Science Temple of America is supposed to take the position of being of the world. But then if they do that, then, you know, then that means they can't charge you for charters and charge you for warrant of authorities and charge you to be a study group under Moor Science Temple. And then all you do is you just sit there and take orders from them. These individuals who are using the Moor Science Temple of America for selfish gain and not about liberating the people. And remember, nothing's wrong with Moor Science Temple. And RV Bay doesn't hate Moor Science Temple, even though they talk like they don't deal with Moor Science Temple. Because we're Moor Science Temple, and they deal with us. So our temple and our administration is doing the moral, ethical work as one. We're not separate from it because we want to be humanitarian, so we're not going to say we're Moor Science Temple. No, we're Moor Science Temple. Yeah, we're a religious corporation, religious organization, all that, yeah. But we're of the world. Our duty is to uplift fallen humanity under that banner of Moor Science Temple of America. And then we know that's under the umbrella of Moorish Divine and National Movement, so you might hear us say that too, as Moor Science Temple of America. That just might be the case. And again, the question you have to ask yourself is, well, if RV Bay is saying that they're Moorish Divine and National Movement of the world, and then Canaanland Moors is the Moor Science Temple of America, and they're Moorish Divine and National Movement of the world, and they're on the RV Bay publication website, then how come all the other temples, the leadership or whatever, don't do the same thing that Kudrow did, call them and then talk to them and work out something so that they can get this word out to the people using the platform of Moor Science Temple? No, because that's not what it's about for them, because they're not about uplifting fallen humanity. They're all about selfish gain. That's all they're about, selfish gain. Remember, I'm telling you, it's about selfish gain. There's a lot more. You have anything to add in right there?
Yeah, it's love. Because you were talking about the reason why they don't like RV Bay publication. And another reason why is because once you go on the online Cosmology University and you click click on the Noble Drew Ali part, they have on there the letters to be read before every meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And once you go study that, like when the prophet wrote to be proclaimed in every meeting, it says, dear brother Islam, I'm glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy about me and the movement now, by the same people of our side of the nation that claim it was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their early salvation as American citizens, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me, so they themselves may take charge of the situation. And then if you go check the history, the prophet the injuries happened recently right after this. This is when he wrote this January 18th, 1929. A couple months later, they got rid of him. He was in his note right here. Why they was about to get rid of him? They are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me, so they themselves can take charge of the situation. He told us why they was about to get rid of him. He wrote it in January 18th, 1929. They got rid of our prophet a couple months later. It says, I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that contribute to the movement and the upliftment fund. The ones that pay the divine respect to me in the movement will be remembered. That is why I'm calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me and your prophet and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance and I need it bad. Never before have I needed finance as badly as I do at present, that I may shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my fame and nobility. They was always mad at the prophet. He's the one that got to go sit at the conference with all the nations. He's the guy. He's the guy. He's the Professor Drew. He's the shaman. He was the doctor. He was the everything.
Yep.
Jealous of his fame and nobility.
Mm-hmm. Jealous.
Said the prophet was working late night, tired, lying wrapped around the corner. Everybody wanted to see the prophet. Everybody. He's telling you why they about to get rid of him. Jealous of his fame and nobility. They want his position.
Which they got.
And go ahead.
No, just saying the position which they got, which they have right now, playing around with you.
Right. And today we have all these organizations that stem from this to this day.
Yep.
Now look at them. They're all here.
Balling.
NOI, the Hebrew stuff, Kemet, all of this stuff. Black, whatever, all of it's coming from the prophet. He was the foundation. He's the one that started all of this.
Yeah.
Of us having our own, being our own people, being one and whatever.
And again,
but having a net.
And that's another reason why they hated on RVBA publications, because just like you're saying, when you go on the website, there's a Noble Drew Ali part to push.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're going to get all this stuff that we're talking about, because they recognize Noble Drew Ali. And they're putting him out there like that, hey, people, he's your prophet. He's not some guy that belongs to Moor Science Temple, like all these people play with Elijah Muhammad or whatever. And he only belongs to them and nobody else could say honors to him and all that type of stuff. That's not what Noble Drew Ali is. Noble Drew Ali is not these pastors. Oh yeah, our pastor is going to be at the whatever, so come down to and then the whole place is full because their guy is there. That's not what was going on. Noble Drew Ali was a humanitarian. His reach was broad. He wasn't limited in his perspective as to what his purpose was. His purpose was to save humanity, not just Negro, black, colored people who didn't know that they were Moors. Humanity. There's a lot more. Sorry, Cody.
No, that's wrong. And that's another reason why they jealous of his fame and nobility. He was the man. The prophet started everything. Everything again comes from what the prophet was bringing in 1913. The prophet brought all of that, and it's amazing how people started like, because that again back to the proof of the jealous of the fame and nobility. We never even heard of the prophet. They tried to get rid of his name. People ask, you go around ask people, you ever heard of Noble Drew Ali? Who? And if they start hearing about it now, it's because what Moors are pushing now. Because at the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, they're talking about civil rights, Martin Luther King, nothing with the prophet.
Right.
Get rid of that immediately. Get rid of that immediately. Get rid of that immediately. More, nobody knew what they tried to get rid of them. Jealous of his fame and nobility. They tried to just get rid of his title, his whole position. Like none of this. This man never came to bring back a nationality. None of that. It was just slavery, and Jim Crow, Martin Luther King. Like that's how they make it seem, man. Like that's like no, not at all. When that's another thing. When the prophet came back, he brought back everything with him and gave it to us.
Yep.
That's another thing. They big time jealous mad at the prophet. Big time.
Super mad.
All these organizations started opening up. Hundreds of them. There's hundreds of them to this day. That started from when the prophet, when they got rid of the prophet.
Mm-hmm.
Once they got rid of him, everybody started opening up shop. And like the Grand Sheik said, they just took down the Moor sign and put up black whatever. Put up NOI this. Put up black Muslims this. It just everything got the sign up. All that was Moor. All that was Moor.
Mm-hmm.
All of that. Prophet had hundreds of temples all over. All over. These people just took the signs down and literally took the signs down. Now it's some Christian such and such for the black community.
Yeah.
That's what they did over here. They used to have a temple right over here. Right over here. We found it and everything. And I'm like, yo, that's the way they meet and do the black Christian stuff at. And you can go ride by it and everything. There's no more Moorish what?
Yeah.
They got rid of all of that.
I wanted to show you this one too. That this is how bad they are. They're gonna talk BS. Right? They're gonna talk BS. About RV Bay, Taj Street Bay, and all that stuff. But then, if I'm not mistaken, there's a page on here where they're directly jacking the cover of the book without even giving honors of where they got the picture from. You know, this is mstofa.net. The Moor Science Temple guys talking BS. So why wouldn't they just put the whole book and everything like that on there? So you know that it's a book, not just some picture that they found online or whatever. So that the honors could be given to where the honor should go.
Yep.
Right? There it is right there. Why would they only show you the picture? That's how low down these people are. And remember, it's not the temple.
Yep. And to add on too, like you said, it's not the temple, it's the people. And like I'm saying, It's the people who are in there, and it's another reason why they mad at RV Publications, because certain people honoring reincarnated prophets, giving honors to Dirty Moors, who was back then, who got rid of the prophet on the scene, giving honors to Kirkman and their flock, who know, everybody know, all you gotta do is check the FBI papers and it show you the trail who got rid of the prophet. It show you who did it. And it's Dirty Moors in the temple who giving honors to these people. When we went visit the so-called temple in Pittsburgh, when that door cracked open and we saw they had the prophet up there and the reincarnated prophet next to it. They mad RV Publications don't play that reincarnated prophet stuff. It's just the prophet. That reincarnated stuff, that's why they don't like RV Publications, because they don't even, there's none of those even mentioned. It's not even mentioned. They don't even discuss no reincarnated prophet. That's folly. They know that that's not, You start hearing about the story, somebody had a star in their eye, a crescent in their eye, or something like that, and then fainted out and became the prophet. Like, this is the stuff that these people were doing to try to steal our birthright, put us back into black. Because even after, when they got rid of the prophet on the scene, it's proof, because we're in it now. Nobody continued on the nationality and birthright side, civic side. None of them did. Because if they did, we wouldn't be in this mess in 2019. Impossible. None of them did. They either changed the signs or, stayed Moors, but became church Moors. No more civics. Don't teach the national side, which the prophet in a bunch of his work, he talked about us being part of the Constitution, enforcing the Constitution. Mm-hmm. He's always saying that. Always. Always. Having a nationality so you can enforce the Constitution.
Exactly.
That's why all these black, everybody mad at RV, and it's not just Moors, Temple Moors. Everybody was mad at RV Publication. Everybody, every organization, mad. Still to this day, RV Publications is a killer. Yep. All you gotta do, everything is right there up there. Everything.
The stateless killer.
As soon as somebody's up there giving their colored speeches, all you gotta do is to fact check is go to the online Cosmology University RV Publication. That's all you gotta do. It's all you. It's cheat. You can cheat. You can type a word. Google helps you. You can type a word in and put RV Publications at the end of it. It pop up right in RV Publications. I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. I love this. Yeah. You can just fact check just like that. The university got something to tell you about that word. Right in law. I don't care what word it is. RV got it covered.
Got it
covered. That's the online university.
Yep.
And that's why they mad at, because they go from all of it, from cosmology to law to astrology, nature, to showing you how to eat. Everything, right? Everything you need is on there. Yeah. Everything to whatever the prophet, about history about the prophet, giving you to the so-called Mexicans, giving you anything you want is on there. Anything you want. Anything you want. Keep your house in order, RV Publication.
Definitely help you keep your house in order. Right? No. So people are talking crazy, so let's just, remember, we're looking at what we're listening at
There's sneak dissing going on. Like, it's not known who you're talking about.
To the YouTube, and that stuff is all on that Linktree link on my description. How much money should a person be prepared to spend? You're gonna have to give me some more information. Like, what do you mean? Are you talking about how much money should you be prepared to spend? What, to be a Moor, like to declare your nationality? What are you talking about? That one got me like spinning my head too. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, there's no big amount of money that you have to spend. It don't work like that. If somebody's trying to hit you up for money, they're running some kind of scam. Straight up. For all the paperwork. See right there, I would just say, without even getting details on what type of paperwork you're talking about, I would say just X that out. Stop messing with whoever or whatever organization that is right off bat.
Right now, we're letting you know. Letting you know. Name declaration, correction, and publication. Judicial notice and proclamation. The process of correcting your name to a title of nobility is a civic act. Upon declaring that you don't have a name anymore, that you're a Moor and you have a free national appellation title, that's done through a judicial notice and proclamation with you, the judge, putting whoever on notice about your proclamation. And your proclamation is in writing that you're not with their BS any longer. You're not with their BS anymore. That's just what it is, period. And this is notice that would be given to whoever needs to know that you're not playing their BS anymore. Individuals that speak against this right now, this isn't selling paperwork. This is a standard of written material through the Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs to assist the people in being their own priests because of the individuals in the temple that didn't have them do this. Because when we became Moors through quote unquote Moor Science Temple of America, because we thought this was just some organization or whatever like that, we didn't really know what was going on. And then we became members and we got a little card, paper card or whatever, no picture, no anything like that, just a paper card. What is it? This is their nationality card. Don't show it to your Europeans because it causes confusion. But print these papers out right here. These are your proclamation papers. And then everybody went in their little brief or whatever, and they pulled out their papers. They had the seal on it, whatever like that. Some people's stuff was like used looking, you know what I mean? It was, you know, this has obviously been around. It's not just yesterday he just printed those out. And that was their identification. A member of Moor Science Temple, here's the card. And then with the card, here's the papers, which it's called now name declaration correction judicial proclamation, and it's in 2 papers. Then it was a 22-page document. Cut that down to 8 pages now. It's 22 pages was crazy. So the purpose of this, from you know, we're saying 08 and before, through Moor Science Temple of America, the other group of Moors that were pushing that idea of having paperwork was the Washita. And again, with Washita, I got Washita papers. You realize now that all that was just training for recognizing what it is to be who we are. But if we're in our own land, you don't need papers. The problem is the ones who have caused the confusion and had people think that, one, either you're paying for papers, like something crazy. Either you're paying for papers, or you're told that this piece of paper that they give you is the all and be all, and you don't have to do anything else. All you do is just come to the Moor Science Temple meetings every this day and whatever day and whatever. But then in the world, you're a Negro still. But then in the temple, you know, you get in, you show your card and stuff like that. They'll tell you Bay and all that stuff there. But then on the other side, there's no connection to that. Because it's taught that you're only a Moor in this building. You're not a Moor outside this building. The only way you're a Moor outside this building is if you're with the Moors. So it's not about, you know, don't dead the paperwork. It's not about that. Get those name declarations, correct your status for yourself. Because remember, this is about you being priests. They don't want you to be priests. They want you to be follower. They want you to be like people who have videos that they're an underling. So the underling makes the videos. The guy at the top of the stuff, he's chilling. That's the guy who should be making the videos. How come the grand whoever's not doing the classes or whatever? How come it's the underlings? Because the grand people don't want you to have the info that they got, or they would be the ones doing the classes. They would be the ones that would be in the public for the public to engage. Why would they not make themselves accessible to the public? They're only accessible to the members of their club. Letting you know that they're not humanitarian. And the underling doesn't even know that they're playing themselves. Because the underling is looking at this from the perspective of whoever taught them is teaching them right, but they're teaching them against this fraud. Because remember, it's a 2-part this. Part of it is about the paperwork, but it's really about RV Bay Publications. It's really about you could discount this page, Writs of Freedom, that we're on, and still benefit from rvbaypublications.com. You don't have to go take these papers and proclaim that you're a Moor. You just want info about law. Hey, you know what I mean? There it is. I don't want to be a Moor. Fine, don't be a Moor. There's the info. Guarantee when you start using that info, you're going to wish you were a Moor before you started playing around. Like you could call yourself whatever you want and start talking law. because it doesn't work like that in the real world. Which is why you're supposed to humble yourself, and they have the top, and they tell you how to study, how to go through their website. Then people go and just went straight to the card part. Went straight to the card part. Didn't even read anything. Right for the cards, ordering cards. And then sitting on their hands, waiting for cards instead of studying while they're waiting for cards. There's a lot more. You got it?
Yeah, it's not, because you're talking about, because he's making it seem like, too, as if paperwork, if you don't know what that is, I advise you to just cancel all of that. Like you said, he's sending shots at RVB Publications, and then he's making it seem as if, because he's going to continue on talking, and he's going to make it seem as if you ain't get it through the temple, don't do it.
Right.
Like don't
Right.
That's where you got to get your paperwork from, through the temple. Now I want to read something real quick. This is coming out of the book. It's called They Saw the Elephant: Women in the California Gold Rush, right, by Joanne Levy. It says, it says free. We know though. It says free blacks as well as enslaved live in constant dread of arrest in 1852. And it says at Grass Valley, a free black woman named Jane Jones was kidnapped and held for extortion. She escaped the great the threat only because she escaped the threat only because she had taken the precaution of recording her freedom papers with the county clerk.
Hold on. Back up again.
Right. Okay.
Because I was just that's not what you just texted me. That's something different.
No. This ain't what I text you.
Okay.
I just found this. So
Like,
you said, right, we're gonna go over that.
Yeah, play that back what you just said. Yeah, play that back what you just said.
Yeah. Free blacks as well as enslaved living in constant dread of arrest in 1852 at Grass Valley. A free black woman named Jane Jones was kidnapped and held for extortion. She escaped the threat only because she had taken the precaution of recording her freedom papers with the county clerk. Now this is a whole lot right here.
No,
right?
no. Let's just to put it in perspective. So, all right. So, 2006, 2005, 2006. When we brought Aleem Bey here the first time to do a lecture, and he was telling us about the paperwork and how when you get your paperwork, the whole point is to file it at the county recorder's office, because the county recorder's office is going to actually take it and make a file for it and give you a number that would mean you have something filed on the public record.
Yep.
Now, the big deal was that it wasn't notarized. It had the Washita seal on it, and the county clerk's office accepted it. Remember, because that's the county clerk. That's not the city clerk or the kangaroo court clerk or whatever. Right. That's the county clerk. And the county clerk is a constitutional office. So because Noble Drew Ali, again, this is why I used to diss Washita, because again, Noble Drew Ali was tied to the Washita through his mom, who was who Henry Turner was his uncle, which goes into pre-Noble Drew Ali, that these people been known who the Moors are. Which is why Noble Drew Ali said he's going to keep it hush or whatever about his mother and his dad and stuff like that, because he doesn't want them to get the Joseph Mary treatment. Because there was way more to the story. To turn your brain to water for real, if he told you everything. So by putting it on file at the county recorder, you as a Moor now were taking a constitutional position, which is again why they start talking about, Moors who do that being the renegade Moors and the whatever type of Moors that not with the temple and all that. When that's what was supposed to be done when the people go join the Moorish Science Temple of America and they write down their name in that book that they make people stand in front of the flag and then they say it or whatever. They're supposed to take that book down to the county recorder's office every month or whatever and put all those names in as a public notice that these people are now proclaimed Moors, just like you would be doing if you had your name declaration, correction, whatever. And then now, when we fast forward to this time, they say, okay, well, I'm going to go down to the county recorder's office. And then you go down there and then they turn you away because you didn't wait to this part in the class to find out that ain't no county recorder's offices now, unless you're in a state that's still a republic. Because all the county recorders got dissolved into the corporate state. So they're not constitutional anymore. And they're oath violators now, which is why the position was now you get your own papers and you send them out. Forget you be the county recorder and you be the guy on the horse going delivering all the stuff. You be the postmaster. Right? And then to keep in harmony with the science, the numerological science, RV Bay Publications through Great Seal Association of Moorish Affairs made these public because they're a publication. So they made these quote unquote writs public for the public to be able to have the stuff. Right? So it's a real thing. When they say county recorder's office in a book and they're making a reference that, hold on a second. So the black lady got free. So now she's a free black. And then she was about to get it. But luckily, she put her papers on file at the county recorder and that backed these people off from her getting lynched or whatever. What were they about to do to her anyways? Does it say?
Say about the what?
What were they about to do to her? Cause didn't it say they were like going after her or some shit?
No, it just said she was kidnapped. And
she was kidnapped. Okay. So she was kidnapped.
Yeah, she was kidnapped and held for extortion. But you got to remember, now look, this is how I'm looking at that. When they said that she was kidnapped and held for extortion, it's because she gave her status.
Exactly.
Now you can say you're kidnapped and held for extortion.
Right.
If she was black, Negro, that's an escaped slave.
Right, exactly. Bring her back to the plantation or kill her there.
Right, exactly. And the other way I'm looking at it too, This 1852. She didn't get her papers from the temple.
Right?
What-
Because
why-
what? Because
why-
what?
why-
Because
why-
even back then the priesthood was dead, and you had to be your own
Right.
priest. And she went and put her papers in to the county recorder's office. And again, for people getting caught up with the county recorder's office, don't forget, they've been sold out. No different than here, that the sheriff has been sold out.
Mhm.
So you're going to look up office of the sheriff for this jurisdiction, and you think that that's the office of the sheriff. But then when you go in there, there's a beat cop in there. Beat cop uniform and everything. No sheriff's badge, nothing like that. Working with the municipal, quote unquote, police. A guy like that is in the office of the sheriff. Doesn't that say something's wrong here? 'Cause that's not office sheriff. That's a beat cop. Why is he in? Like, what's he doing in the office of the? Oh, because office of the sheriff is a fraud. There ain't no such thing as the office of a sheriff. There might be a sheriff's office, but there ain't no office of a sheriff. That's a corporate jurisdiction.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. If I can keep reading, Grace.
Yeah, more good,
there's
more.
another
Yeah.
look. It also says, all right, I'm gonna go back to that one. But this one right here, it says blacks. It says we know blacks without freedom papers were at constant risk of returning to slavery, and many became runaways. Look at that.
Okay,
Look at that.
back up 2 lines. So we have to read her part again with that part.
Blacks without freedom papers were at constant risk of returning to slavery. Blacks without freedom papers. Oh, you ain't proclaim? Oh, you still black? You ain't proclaim your nationality? You still not clear about who you are? Oh, constant risk of going back to slavery. This is a whole thing too, because that even shows you how deep, real deep this sellout is. Because as soon as they call us black, they're putting you back into constant slavery. We dealing with status. If she didn't have her freedom papers, she was in a runaway. It says it right here. It says it right here.
Yeah.
Blacks without freedom papers were going back to slavery or became runaways. Status.
And remember this. We're not talking about outside of the temple. We're talking about people who are in the temple.
Yep.
Them having you think that being a Moor, the temple did that for you, is pretty much them keeping you black, because it doesn't work like that. Temple can't do that. Temple can't make you a Moor.
Yep.
And remember, they're talking about the slave. They're saying that the black got free. The black got free by putting their papers in the county recorder's office. But then the blacks who didn't do it, they got caught in the jurisdiction. Oh yeah, what's the book again?
I just found it online. It's called They Saw the Elephant. Women in the California Gold Rush. And the other thing that's bugging me out, all of this happened before 1861. before Congress adjourned.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at it like, okay, of course the county was still in power. Moors was running it.
Exactly.
The Sharifs was the Moors.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the sheiks. We were the ones running it until, like the Master Teacher Todd says, until they told us to step down or die, because at this time we all falling apart. Moors fighting Moors.
Even on this level,
crazy.
Even with Drali saying with the story with the old sheik, the Europeans asked the old sheik to take those Moors over there. Who's not going to do nothing? Take those Moors who don't want to put their papers on the county.
Right.
Take those Moors.
Yep. Take those ones that want to be like y'all. Take them ones that want to worship false gods and stuff like that. That want to be Eurocentric.
Yeah.
Take them.
Yeah.
They want to be like y'all. Well, take them with you. Take them with you. Because that's what it was. That's what it really was. That's what it really is. The whole thing is Eurocentric. They done took on this Eurocentric process, Eurocentric thinking. All of that stuff comes from Eurocentric. That black, that's Roman property, Eurocentric. Hebrew stuff, all that, Hebrew Israelite, as a people, that came from European. We knew as that was the science. C. Freeman breaks all that down. He's got a video up on it, laughing. Like, ain't no damn Hebrew people. Said it till I was dying laughing. That's the science. That's the 12 signs of the zodiac. I said, oh, yeah, exactly. Ain't no 12 tribes of Israel. Israel is Isis, Ra, and El, which is God. That's like, I was like, oh, simple. Like, I was like, oh, this is simple. Like, ain't no Israel people stuff. That's BS. Master Teacher C. Freeman L. breaking it down.
Break it down.
The people that's taking on these Eurocentric thinking, keeping themselves in slavery, and then dirty people promoting it. The ones that was jealous of the prophet's fame and nobility. They was the ones that got. That's why I be saying the sellout is real, Grand Sheik.
It's real. It's
so crazy. It's unbelievable.
It's real.
I'm like, nah, this man came in 1913. 1929, that's not ancient. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not ancient.
You were just here.
Just here. They talk about, I know more about Caesar and Shakespeare. And that's ancient. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's ancient. They talk about that stuff more. Like, this guy was here 2 seconds ago. 2 seconds ago. It make it seem like this man just wasn't just here. He was just here.
Just here.
You gotta. It should be all over. Why isn't it publicized all over all these so-called black websites? They're for the redemption of their people. They know who Joe Ali is. He was another one. He was another one who was for his people. Why isn't Noble Joe Ali all over all of their websites?
Right.
Why won't they put him up there? They put El Haj because he used black, after talking to the people in general terms. They'll put everybody else up there. Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, all of them. They'll put them, all of them. They won't put the prophet up there. Now, and if they do, they're doing it now because Moore got their foot on their neck.
That's what I was just gonna say.
That's the only reason why. Other than that, they sweat. It still be nope. Look what Jamal had to do to get on that platform. More just think like if you look at it from behind the scenes, you just think he was just up there. No. I didn't. When he told us, I had to put out the alert for more to get me up here. I'm like, I didn't know that. You know what I mean? I didn't know none of that.
I had to put out the alert.
I'm like, what?
Trust me, yo.
The sellout is real, like you said. The
I'm
sellout
like,
is
and then they
real.
don't want to put your commercial, your little commercial you had. They didn't want to put that on there. Like, yo, look, this is all crazy.
Hating on no more.
The sellout is too real. It's unbelievable.
The thing that gets me is that, you can clearly see that everybody came from what Noble Drew Ali did. Like, that's very apparent to me. Everybody who's around, they're only around because of Noble Drew Ali.
Yep. Yep.
The only reason they're around today is because Noble Drew Ali got assassinated.
That's it.
The only reason these people have a voice right now. The reason they have a voice is because the man got assassinated. Hold on a second. I'm looking at all you people funny.
Yeah.
All of you, I'm looking at funny. Nobody's not getting no. Nobody's getting no pass.
That's treason.
Nobody. What are you talking about? No way.
Yeah, it's treason.
I get no damn
And
pass.
then, Gracie, please, if I can add on real quick.
Yeah, man, go ahead, boy. We got time. We got time.
Because I was just remember you called me yesterday.
Yeah.
You said, what you doing? I said, chilling, watching Kung Fu flicks.
Yeah.
Right? You just brought up the whole point of the movie. The dude was just like, all of this been going on since ancient times. We all know the Kung Fu flicks they talking about more.
Yeah.
But this whole concept of getting rid of the ruler, filling somebody else in, because the politics that they wanted to go, they wanted to fit their agenda, and it's always like how we would look at it, like if it was the president in the Congress, how they get, you know what I mean? Like the Congress get together and just be like, this is how we want it to go.
Yeah. But
as you being the leader, you're like, no, that's going to be bad for the people. So they'll make up, corrupt some stuff.
Yeah.
So you can get rid of, or if that don't work, they'll get rid of you personally.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I'm like, it reminds me of the same thing we went through right now. And I'm like, yo, this is an ancient thing.
Yeah.
It's never stopped. And Moor's been doing it. We've been doing it. And I'm like, yo, I'm like, that's what they did to the prophet. And I'm looking at the movie like, is this a movie about us? Like, because that's what they'll do.
Yeah.
In the guise of, oh, this is a fighting movie. I'm like, this ain't no fighting movie.
Yeah, it's bigger than fighting.
I see a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Like it's your next dude underneath you. The guys you're supposed to trust.
Yeah. That's the sellout.
The horse driver. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, even the horse guy, the guy that you traveled with every time was the carriage guy. He was plotting on you the whole time. And I'm like, sounds kind of familiar. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, the driver was the guy who got the stuff from the prophet. Might have been good in the beginning, but then some stuff started happening. It was a lot of similarities to what we go through, But every nation, we're all Moors. You know what I mean? It's not like it's nothing different. We're all Moors. We just do the same stupid stuff over and over again. Over and over again. It was showing. It was the thing. Another thing in the movie was showing how the king looks at his child like an enemy. And only reason why, because he knows that you're going to take his position next. And it's like, and I'm like, oh, that's incredible. Like, really, like, it's a lot of stuff going on. And then it reminded me, okay, hold on. Because of all of this political and the way we see it now, how the world is ran now, we started it. But I got, in this book, it's called Our Oriental Heritage. It says on page 30, right? It says, when economic relations and political mastery replaced kinship as the principle of social organization, the clan lost its position as a substructure of society. It said what we did was at the bottom, it was supplemented by the family. At the top was superseded by the state. Government took over the problem of maintaining order, while the family assumed the task of reorganizing industry and carrying on the race. When economic relations and political mastery replaced kinship, the clan lost its position as the substructure of society. As soon as we started playing that trade and all, we fell. That's how I'm like, we been fell.
Yeah.
We fell. As soon as we started playing that, oh, I'll sell you this, give me that. I got all of this, you don't have all. As soon as we made up that system and got rid of family, or like I said, kinship, like we just took over the materialistic. We thrived on it. We loved the materialistic side, and that's when we fell. We gave up kinship. We rather do the political, I'm the ruler of this. It was never like that. It was never like that. The book continues on talking about how, all right, let me see. It says, since it was the mother who fulfilled most of the parental functions, the family was at first, so far as we purse the midst of history, organized on the assumption that the position of the man in the family was superficial and incidental, while that of the woman was fundamental and supreme. I'll run it back.
Yeah, run that back.
Since it was the mother who fulfilled most of the parental functions, the family was at first. Now, the author, as far as they have historically found, the woman was the first to organize on the assumption that the position, to organize on the assumption that the position of the man in the family was superficial and incidental, while that of the woman was fundamental and supreme. The woman was, we been fell. Soon as mother stopped being a ruler and supreme, the one that runs the house and doing all of that, like the mother Roz and mother Anani taught us years ago, been saying it over and over again. Soon as that's why the prophet, when he's uplifting fallen humanity, he's holding the woman. Once she stopped ruling, we fell. I was watching a video the other day when I'm listening to an old school of Taj. He was talking about how the sons, we're just substitutes right now until mothers get in their position. Yep. I was like, wow, I forgot he said that. Yep. I was like, we're just substitutes.
Yep.
We ain't nobody. Me and the Grand Sheik about to sit down in a minute and play our positions and be sons. And mothers is gonna rule.
We're not the headliner. we're not the headliner. You know what I mean? We're the whack group before the good group comes up to do the show. We're the guys who you're standing there like, who are these guys? Who put these guys on this show? These guys suck. Get off the stage. Because there's a better act coming.
Yep. And that's when once they get back in position, that's when the Moors is back. Once you start seeing the mothers going crazy, like, okay, nothing's going down no more until y'all get it together. And that is like, you know how the Grand Sheik breaks it down. The women get control over everything. I was telling her, okay, how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. All right. I watched my boy. I ain't gonna say his title. I watched my boy. Let me tell you the power of a woman. The power of a woman. My boy he was at his job. I think it was like 6 years at this time. It was like 6 years. He runs into a girl, meets her, likes her or whatever. He don't have a conveyance. Whole 6 years he's been at his job, never got a conveyance. Right? First time he can go pick her up. She was like in the next state over. He can go pick her up. He begging me. to use my conveyance, begging me. But I'm telling him the whole time, like, yo, this ain't gonna last forever. You know what I mean? Like, you can use it today, but this ain't gonna last forever. Like, I don't know what you're gonna do, but this ain't gonna. 2 weeks. 6 years this man ain't have a conveyance. 2 weeks. This man got him a conveyance because of that girl. he needed to go get her. He had a brand new Acura RL 2008. I was like, yo, look at what is going on? All over a woman. 2 weeks.
Mother.
This man been at his job 6 years. I don't know what he did. 6 weeks all for a Moor bike. And I was like, look, that's the power of a woman. I would never forget that. Like, wow. Like, brother, we've been telling you, yo, you got to get your stuff. You got to get your wet. You know, back then, you know, you got to on them. Oh, nah, I'm going to get one. That man off that girl. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Brand new.
Locked. That's crazy.
Brand new. Never forget it. Never forget. So that's incredible. Power of a woman. So like the book said, once she fell from being the man, fell from being the warm man, when she fell from that, that's when everything was over. We're substitutes. We not gonna do it, right? It never worked. It never worked. We've been fighting each other ever since y'all fell. Like brothers, that's what brothers do. We just fight. The next day, you know, like we get over it, whatever. But mothers get that in order. Mom's coming in the living room. Your brothers is fighting. Mom just coming in. Look, you can hear next door TV. Mom just coming in. Look, that's how quiet it gets. That's instantly. She just coming in. Look, she ain't even got to say nothing. She on the phone. You know that look she do when she put the phone down and look at y'all? Yeah. That's all she gotta do. She don't want the person on the phone to hear how she'll give y'all that wrath. Y'all just quiet, don't want to say nothing. don't want to say nothing. Sneak hitting under the legs. Sneak hitting.
First one to say something. You're gonna get it.
All because of mother. I looked at that. I said, "Yo, this is." It says in some existing tribes, and probably in the earliest human groups, the psychological role of the male in reproduction appears to have escaped notice quite as completely as among animals who rut and mate and breed with happy unconscious of cause and effect. That's how bad it was. It is still like that. Just breeding, no nothing, no cause and effect, nothing. That's how the men were then. Now to this day, mine is the one that kept that in order. You know, that's why we go through the works to try to get a woman. We got to go through everything because we already know what our thing is to do, just to breed. and mom's like, no, you got to get everything in order if you want breeding. Everything must be boom, 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 boom first. You're not going to just be breeding. But now, this is breeding. These people now, we're going to have another, like, literally now people having more children just so they can get more assistance.
Crazy.
You're not breeding for helping the nation and, you know, having your own people. No, they breeding so they can get more assistance.
Yep.
That's what they want, more food stamps, more fiat on their EBT card. That's what they have them literally having conversations about that. I'm about to have me another one. So they can keep, so they, you know, they child getting older or something like that. They need that Section 8 to stay there. That child get 18, you lose Section 8. You gotta have another one. That's the game. They're not breeding for loving no more. Love and family. Consanguinity. No, that's how bad it is now. Mommy's out of whack. The whole thing is done.
Straight.
Honest to all the mothers.
Oh yeah, honest to all the mothers.
Honest to all the mothers.
Yeah, because they waking up now. We see they waking up now.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You just posted the video of the mother pushing the priest off. We know the mother's waking up in droves now. They got fucking look what happens. They get a little whiff, a spark of something going on. What? Look, off the stage. Brother's been doing this for hundreds of years in order. Oh, I'm the guy in order. You ain't never seen a man come on no stage and push no priest off of the stage. Ever. It took a woman to do it.
Yep.
But that's who's supposed to do it. We shouldn't be shocked. That's who's supposed to do it. Mommy supposed to do that. Mommy's the first protector. Dad always at work. I remember being little, going to church or whatever. We go into church. My dad at work. My mom bringing everybody to church. It's a dog coming. Pit bull coming right across the street. We going into the church. I was so terrified of this dog. My mom is cussing me out. Don't you worry about that dog. Ain't nothing gonna happen. I didn't want to get out the conveyance, nothing. Crying, scared. You better come on. And I'm like, nope. I'm gonna beat you. All of that. So, I'm getting out. Ain't nothing, trusting my mom. Ain't nothing gonna happen to me. If that dog come over here, and you know what? That dog came over there. And guess what my mom did? Everything you want for that dog not to ever want to come over here again. That dog did what? My mom started swinging that purse right in the middle of the church parking lot. It's me, my little brother, my older sister. She's just whoa. And I'm like, yo, look at my mom. She won't put they on. That's the one. That's the protector. For my first protector was my mama. Dad was at work.
Crazy.
Swinging that purse. That was crazy.
Crazy.
My mom's is the ones.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this one. Hold on, where's this thing at? People are serious out here playing games. Yeah. Can't believe how people are playing games. Now there was, I don't remember who said this to me, but these guys like to really talk crazy about Moors. These people are playing games with you. We know that there's hate for the Moors, and people are sent just to play their little game. So this right here, this is a picture of a fez in some video game where you could go buy stuff. Now, apparently he's buying stuff. But then they're gonna come out and talk crazy about Moors.
Okay, what's going on, everybody? This is kind of a different live stream I'm doing right quick, but something I might end up doing a little bit more often. Some of you guys know that I have been very interested, to say the least, in the sovereign citizen movement. I posted that video that got that went viral and went kind of crazy on that. So this is kind of connected to that, William and Carl. So most of these guys, like I watch a lot of these videos, but this particular one in particular, I wanted to talk about because I wanted to expose this guy for the fraud that he is. Well, all these sovereign citizen gurus are all frauds. A guru means that they're a guy who sells like these sovereign citizen ideas, these legal theories that think they can get out of jail free or get out of a traffic ticket by following their method and paying them a bunch of money.
I remember this is the same guy who thought Casper was a freaking authority in the Moorish whatever and debated him. Right?
Video game guy.
Video game guy. Video game guy looking at the Moor, Mario Bay, as some sovereign citizen or whatever. Now, the work put in by Moors, right, the reason why we're bringing this up is because this is a subsection. This is another subsection of RV Bay Publications. But Mario Bay and his publications, publishedinfo.net, where based on his experience of being a Moor, he made his published info public. Not anything to do with sovereign citizens. Every single thing that he's dealing with is Moorish history, science, law, etc. Everything that he deals with, nothing is from some sovereign whatever perspective. Now they know, these people know that the Moor went underground so they can use him because he's not going to be able to respond. Look at it, 72,000 views because he talked about Mario Bay. Now the parts that they're not telling is that the activity that allowed him to say he's going to have a website and write books and whatever like that, these people wouldn't even dare go through. The route that it took him to be where he's at. So somebody like this video game guy could make a video, get 72,000 views because they're trying to tie Moors to the sovereign citizen BS that we know is a fraud already. These people would shit their pants if they had to go through what Mario Bay went through. To be able to say he's a Moor right now and be able to put out books and be able to put out DVDs and be able to do lectures and teach children with regard to his experience. Islam, Moor.
Islam, Moor.
I don't know if you got anything to add yet.
Oh, big time.
All right, Moor.
Because soon as we already know, as soon as we look at it, that's the modern European.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he knows, but even in his speech is Spanish Inquisition practices. Him labeling that sovereign citizen stuff is Spanish Inquisitional practices. That's taking over Morocco talk. Only people who talk like that is Spanish Inquisition. People who came here to steal our land, steal the resources and everything. How, and that's the other thing. How is this modern European foreigner here in the position to be able to call somebody in their own house a sovereign citizen out their name? We're not even gonna go into the definition of nothing. You in somebody else's house calling them out their name. But these Europeans done got here and got so comfortable, they act like they don't even know that they're descendants of colonists. Like that's their history. That's their background. They know that. They came here, like Fontana says, you people came here 1492 and thus after. And now, look at them now. The descendants of those people talking about we're some sovereign citizens. Brother, go home. Go home. Go to your house where your people are from. You don't even have that authority to speak over here. They can just, and that's another thing. That's anybody can get a camera and just talk. That's why I be looking at the way they speak. I'm like, bro, either you know or you don't know, or they try to act like they don't know that these people came here in 1490. That's the most known thing. Like, it's not even hidden. Like, you guys talk about like, oh, we discovered America. Okay, so y'all not Americans. y'all came over here talking about y'all discovered it. So y'all not it. Y'all not the people already. Even by definition of American, we know which means the variances of color, copper, skin, found here by the European. We know what it means. Found here by the European. That's the European. He's not American. But going around calling people sovereign citizens. That's the part that's the oxymoron. You can't call nobody nothing. You not in the position to speak. That's territorial jurisdiction. Like all the jurisdictions, you can't. You got to get past that first. Who are you? Who are you? Once you start saying I'm Michael Ashenswap or whatever. None of that. That's not Bay El Banabis. That's foreigner. That's foreigner. And he's on here talking about how he's going to debunk. How you going to debunk somebody in their own home? How? That's like somebody coming to your house, ask you where the bathroom at. You be like, oh yeah, it's down the hall, take a left. I'm going to debunk where you say where the bathroom is at. Brother, that's my house. How you going to debunk my house? This is I'm the one that's going to know. But now he's the one sitting there, like, in my living room, talking about, I'm going to debunk where the bathroom is to the guy who owns the house. Like, come on. That's how the European, they get comfortable. Like, they just sitting in your living room with their feet on your table.
Sure.
That's what I'm looking at. I'm like, you're not even in the position to speak. You're a foreigner. Prove me wrong. That's my whole thing. Prove me wrong. My ancestors circumvented the 7 seas before a European even was a thought. So it's no comparison. You can't call nothing. Whatever we want to call whatever as Moors, that's what it is, because it's our house. It's our house. If we as Moors agree that whatever is whatever, that's what it is. Because we're the ones. It's our house. As Moors, that's why I keep wanting to stress the fact as Moors, because you can't be as blacks. That blacks, this ain't your house. This ain't African American house. This ain't Negro colored house. This ain't Hebrew, Israelite, Indian, auto talking this house. This the Moors house. You only gonna do that stuff if you a Moor. You got freedom papers? You go create nationality, birthright? Even Frederick Douglass had freedom papers, which Frederick Douglass' real name was Frederick Bailey. But we gonna Frederick Bailey, right? Wasn't no Douglas, so that's another reason why your boy Dr. Umar is online talking about he was a babe. I'm like, oh yeah, Frederick Douglass was a babe. He wasn't even a Douglas.
He wasn't even a Douglas. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Let's see where else he goes. 72,000 views, yo. It's crazy.
Money. But this guy thinks he's fucking slick. He's called Moreno Bay. There's a link to the description on this stream. And I'm gonna show just what these guys try to do in order to get the gullible to send them money. So as you can see, his is what he's going to do. 4 charges dismissed without an attorney. This is what he sells: publishing info, driving, traveling. He sells this shit to people. Say, hey, all you got to do is, follow my, legal advice, and you'll get out of jail free. You'll get out of a ticket. But I'm going to show what this guy's full of shit about. Do Moors have the right to travel? Yes, you do. But that doesn't mean you can't. That doesn't mean you can't. You can drive without a license. The right to travel and driving is a separate issue.
All right, peace and love, man. Peace and love. It's Mario Hill.
We're not going to go through the entirety of this guy's video. I just want to go through the exact meat of what we're talking about.
You just contradict everything you're saying. Your whole thing is you have problems with the sovereign citizen, whatever. But even though we know that's a misclassification, but those people push right to travel, and he's saying that you do have the right to travel. And I'm okay. So what's the problem? What are you debunking? What are you debunking? If you do have the right to travel. It's like what are we debunking? You agreed with what's going on with the individuals who they label as sovereign citizens. They push that. He agrees with them.
Mm-hmm.
You just contradict every look. That's how they like to call us morons. That's a moron. That's a moron.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to sneak that in there real quick because he's like, what? What do you mean? You siding with this so-called sovereign citizen theory, which they would label as a theory. He just said you do have the right to travel. Oh, okay, but that's a separate. No, because you just messed up this now. You just messed up this now, right? And he did. He started stuttering. He caught himself. You just messed up. But again, just jealous of the fame and nobility. Jealous of everything. Everybody mad at the Moors. Everybody jealous of the Moors. They don't hate us. They mad they can't beat us. I learned that RV Bay Publications, Mother Roz and Enemy speaking about that on Blog Talk Radio years ago. They don't hate us. They mad they can't be Moors.
Man.
There's another European making videos about Moors. That's the guy who got turned away.
Yeah.
Trying to sneak in and be a Moor.
Trying to sneak in and be a Moor. Got turned away. Now you can't be a Moor. You can't fill out these papers. What are you trying to do? Pretending to be a Moor. Just be a European. Be yourself. Don't be some Artrexis. Be yourself. Whatever your Jewish name is. Because your nose is huge. Must be a Jew.
Still trying to steal the birthright.
Trying to steal the birthright.
Right back into stealing your birthright.
I'm not gonna lollygag around. I'm not gonna just mess around with this. I'm gonna get straight to it so people can see that the information is real, that us true Moors stand on love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and civic-minded Moors that enforce law, that it actually
Watch
works.
this, Lewis.
All right, we have a lot of people out here that place negative information on Moors abroad. All Moors operating on the 5 principles.
Okay.
No.
Hurry up.
I can understand that. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to prove to you that Moors like myself,
He's going to prove it.
that are not only civic minded,
He's claiming that this is proof. What he's showing you is proof. Again, he's claiming that 4 charges dismissed without an attorney. And he's demonstrating this video as proof. Here we go.
I mean, it is what it is. You know, people know this is what I do. All right. So for anyone that has anything else to say, check this out, and you be the judge for yourself. Okay?
Oh, I'll leave the judge. Don't worry.
But let me put a disclaimer out there first. People, please do not try this information if you're not totally competent.
And that's his get out of jail free card.
No, that's the truth. Don't talk about. We'll ask Brother Yusuf. Brother Yusuf, when you used to play football, was it wise for people who are on the sideline to not pay attention to what's going on in the game?
No.
Like, let's say like a cheerleader, for example. Like, what if a cheerleader is just standing there doing the pom-poms or whatever, and the ball gets thrown in her direction and she didn't see it?
That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. You know, the pile up. They're over there cheering, and somebody done got tackled on the sideline. No more cheering. It's all. It happens a lot. It's no more cheering. It's just all. Yep.
Right. So that's the point Brother Mario's making in his disclaimer. The point that he's making is, don't go into the game without knowing the rules. Don't go into the game without knowing the rules. If you don't know the rules, that would mean somebody can play you.
Yep.
Just for the simple fact that you don't know the rules. And ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Right. Real quick, Granchi.
Yeah, man.
And he killed himself again. Because he said, Mariano, see, in the beginning, he was like, see, he's just trying to sell you something. Like, I'm the one that has the legal whatever. He's just trying to sell you something.
Yeah.
Well, if he was just trying to sell you something, would he give you that disclaimer when he just keeps saying what he's saying so you can buy it? Like, just buy it.
Right.
Just buy it. What? Like, if you don't know what you're doing, go get a lawyer. Like, nah, I'm not saying that. I'm going to lose clients. I'm going to lose clients. I need you to buy everything from me. Like, it doesn't make he killed himself. How you going to try to diss Mariano in the beginning by saying all he wants you to do is buy it? But then when he gives his disclaimer, being genuine, like, it's not about you buying this information. Because Mariano knows you can just figure all this out on your own. You really don't need, because there is nobody else put up a video about beating 4 charges, whatever. He's the one that did that.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure he studied. He's the one that studied first and got that information. So you can do the same thing. But if you not studied like Mariano did, he's telling you, don't do it.
It only makes sense. Why would you do it? Why would you do it? The whole point is to make sure that you're competent. You don't want to be incompetent. You want to make sure that you're competent. You have to make sure that you're competent, which is the point. That's not a get out of jail free card. That's people are going to be dumbasses and hear this information and run out there and do it and then blame you when it doesn't go the way it's supposed to go because you told them about being a Moor. So they robbed a jewelry store and said they're a Moor, and now they're mad at you because it didn't work. I still got charges. They said I was a Moor and it didn't work.
You didn't work.
That's his disclaimer that he wants to put in there. You know, hey, you know, don't do this if you don't know what you're doing. Bullshit. He knows that this shit isn't gonna work. He's just trying to do this to cover his own fucking ass.
And totally confident, in my opinion, is when you don't have to ask anybody anything about.
Okay, moving on.
Check this out, people.
Here we go.
This is a website. Okay, this is a public website that I'm about to go through, so you can see what's on their website.
Okay, first thing he misleads you on. He says a public website. He says public website. Well, it's public in the sense that anybody can go to it. But what he's trying to convey to people, to the audience, is that public meaning a government website, and also his use of the term they. But I'm already here.
Hold on, that's his opinion. That's not fact.
ORG.
Say it again.
That's his opinion. That's not when he says that. Oh, he's just trying to lead the people. Like what he means is when he means public, he means government. Bro, you just made that up. Like that's not what's going on. Public means public. It's like for everybody to see. Like, what do you mean? When he means public, he means government. No, that's not. Why would he say that? Why is law specific? And Mariano, being a very well studied, he knows that law specific. If he was going to say, "Oh, this is a government website," he would have said, "This is a government website." It's that simple. It's not a hard word to say. We all say it. This is their government website right here. Look. Boom. And this guy making it seem, when he says public, he means government. Bro, that's your opinion. Where did you get that from? This man got dictionaries all around him. We don't use words unless we know what the definition means. That's how Moors do. We don't go by how we feel a word means. That's BS. He just made that up. Just made that part right there when he did that. I heard that part earlier. I was like, man, these Europeans, man. Like that's what they do. They just chop up charges.
In a sense that it is controlled by a state or local or county municipality. This is a website that's basically one of those mugshot websites that you do that collects information on arrests and everything like that. So we already have misleading point number one with this guy.
In regards to the charges that were basically given to me. Okay. Now what I'll do is this. I'll start at the top left, right here. Okay. Now before I start, if you go back to the RV Bay Haters Part 2 video,
I'm going to ignore this shit.
Central America, South America, for example.
Now
they would say that I live in.
Okay, he's going through a bullshit about Moorish sovereign citizens. That's another video. That's another topic. We're not going to go through that right now.
Closer to.
Oh yeah, there's no such thing as Moorish sovereign citizens, by the way. Let's throw that out there.
The corporate state of Arkansas and
blah blah blah.
We have a bridge that goes right across corporate states. Now remember, on the RV Bay Hated Traveler, and I was pulled over. So we'll start now. DeSoto County is a county within their corporate state.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
The arresting agency was South Haven Police Department.
Uh-huh.
It has the color, and it has the color of hair, and when you enforce.
Okay, now he's going into the tickets that he was given.
You are, and how
right here.
You are.
An expired driver's license, no insurance, expired tags, and gave false information to a police officer.
Doesn't mean that, I mean, you got to remember, we at war, and at war, there are no rules. At the end of the day, there are no rules.
Islam, Moor.
And that's it. See how he just talk? Like, they just talk to be, this is what I mean. When I say they just talking to be talking, this is a perfect example. Because if I sat there and I asked him, when you just said driving without a license, no insurance, and police officer, when you said those words, if I asked him, what does, I don't know, license, what does license mean by definition in law? Like, I want to know what it means in law. Not your opinion, what you think it means. I want to know the definition in law, what it means. Do you think these people can tell you? Do you think he can tell you what an officer is and how you can be an officer? You think if I asked him that, you think he can tell me that and say it correctly? This is what I mean when they just be talking and be talking. Or what's a driver? Like, they're just talking to me. They don't know what the words they mean and say at all. They're just talking to be talking. This is exactly what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
They're just parroting, just saying words like a parrot. Have no knowledge of what that word specifically means and how it's hindering him. He said, like, oh, see? No insurance, no driver license, false name to a police officer. No.
Exactly.
No. Like the book I was reading earlier. That's once he corrects his status, that's kidnapping and extortion.
Mm-hmm.
And Mariana corrects his status. There was no officer or nothing like that. Ain't no officer. It's kidnapping. Somebody specifically kidnapped him.
Yeah. Somebody.
There's no false names and no officer. What? We talking about once your status, none of that applies. There is no driver's license, insurance, and no status. Status, none of that applies. Status. He got freedom papers. He proclaimed his nationality. He's clear about who he is. Oh, okay. Everything else, that's why everything was dropped. Because he was kidnapped and held for extortion.
Yeah.
Ransom.
Kidnapped.
That's why everything was dropped.
Just like what you read earlier.
It's the same thing.
Kidnapped.
Other than that, he's still being here in slavery. You still being slave or labeled as a runaway, or you got a warrant. What's the difference? It's the same thing. What's the difference? It's 2019. They just changed the words. Either you're going to be a slave, which is now you're going to go to jail, or did you correct your status? That's what it is. That's what it is. It's the same. Nothing's changed. They just changed words. It's the same process. What's your status? Either you're kidnapped and held for ransom, or you're going back to slavery. And that's just that. Ain't no extortion. It's bail. You made bail now and all of that. Status.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I'm saying. They don't know what words mean. They don't know who what it applies to. Nothing. They're just talking. Like those things apply to human beings. Those words apply to corporations. Licenses, driver, all of that. That's policies, statutes. Because like licenses and all of that, that's unconstitutional. The license is not in the Constitution, so it's unconstitutional.
Simple as that. Simple as that.
These people aren't police officers. They highwaymen. They're highwaymen. That's known. They rob from the people on the street.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do.
That's what they do. That's just what they do.
To Constitution. This is proof again that I was charged with this.
Uh-huh.
And I'll show you how it was dismissed as well.
Okay. Yeah, he's going to say that he was dismissed. Again, he reiterates that all this, what he's showing you is, or what he's about to show you, is proof that these charges were dismissed.
I haven't had down from a driver's license because I didn't want it expired.
Uh-huh. He's just going down the list of charges that he did.
Just with etymology when dealing with words. Okay. It's not a private security guard, someone that's exercising their rights to travel because.
Right, and this is the issue too. That how are you going to get the right perspective if you're skipping through the stuff? Especially if you're supposed to be the one challenging what's being presented. How are you challenging what's being presented, but you're not hearing what's being presented? You're skipping.
Right.
We're giving you my story.
Usual right to travel bullshit.
Now, what we'll do is
you just said you could right to travel.
Oh yeah, usual right to travel bullshit. How about on to the Moors that study? How about Jacob Culliton, Culliton, first name Jacob, right to travel. Oh, you put a book on right to travel. State versus Johnson. For while a citizen has the right to travel upon the public highways and to transport his property thereon, that right does not extend to the use of the highways, either in whole or in part, as a place for private gain. For the latter purpose, no person has a vested right to use the highways of the state, but is a privilege or a license which the legislature may grant to withhold at its discretion. American Jurisprudence, Volume 51, Section 3, License as Privilege. A license conveys to the licensee a personal privilege, sometimes referred to as a special privilege. Section 4, Status of rights conveyed as vested or permanent. A license does not confer a vested, permanent, or absolute right, but only a personal privilege.
Personal privilege.
Personal privilege. So the person's a corporation.
So my question is, who will be the person personally giving you the license? Because when you ask them, well, the license means a privilege from whom? Their response usually be like a legislator or the state. The state says, no. Who's the personal person? Personally, it has to be someone personally who's saying that it's a privilege for me to travel on this land. Who is that? And it better not be no foreigners, because that's the whole issue. That's where it comes down to. And like Brother Jamal was telling us the other day, it comes down to diversity of citizenship. Permission from who? We can't get licenses from colonizers. Yep. If a license means permission from who? I know who my mom is, and my forefathers are. So who would I be getting permission from?
Right.
So when Moors in the temple be like, oh, just get a license and all of that, they're telling you to get permission from the colonizer.
Now let me ask you this one: since you've been in the realm of right to travel, somebody said in their chat, he should just be a man and accept that he broke several laws.
See that? You know what I'm saying? Like we just said, they just regurgitating words. They don't know whose law. Whose law? Whose law? And then we just said again, the Constitution doesn't say anything about a license. So therefore, a license is unconstitutional. As soon as they pulled him over and said he was traveling without a license, whoever pulled him over just broke the law, because that's unconstitutional. They just broke their oath. Nobody, they're the person breaking the law. But because our mindset is not RV Bay Publications, which our foundation should be, your foundation should be RV Bay Publications. That's what I'm trying to tell them. Once you know the foundation is in RV Bay Publications, you already know. Simple stuff. Quick. Mm-hmm. The person breaking the law is the highwayman. He's robbing me. Why are you hindering me in my travel?
Yep. And then why are you, so-called artists, whatever, riding with the highwayman who violated him?
That's the question. Not he should just man up and face the laws he break. Like, your mind, that's wrong. 2 and 2 is not 3. That's wrong. What you just said was wrong. That's colored. What you just said was colored. What laws? He didn't break any laws. And then that's the other thing. What's the law? What's the law? I did this with a group of children. I told you, Green Sheet, before a couple months ago. They was all coming home from school. I was trying to give them a couple notes. All they had to tell me was what was the supreme law of the land. Everybody lost. I kept my notes. It was like 30 children I asked. It would be like a group of 5, a group of 6 of them that kept coming up the hill. 30 in total. Nobody could get the answer. They don't even know what the law is. What's the supreme law of the land? They don't know. It's like when I asked the lady, she was like, oh, what's that on your head? Oh, I'm a Moor. What's your nationality? Oh, I'm a Christian, baby. They have no idea what's going on.
No, I'm Christian, baby.
You don't even know what's going on.
Baby, Jesus loves me, baby. I don't need a nationality. I got Jesus.
Yo, see? See what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, unbelievable. Don't even, just lost. Have no idea what's going on. Just talking to be talking. He broke. He should just face up with the laws he broke. What's your nationality? Oh, I'm Christian, baby. See? That's the answer to you. Like when I ask him what's the law, I'm Christian, baby. Like you don't even know what I'm talking about. You're just saying words back to me. You didn't even know what I was talking about. You just said some words back. And you thought it meant what you think it means. It don't. It don't at all. Period. That's the trouble. That's what we talk about. The dumbing down of Morocco, when they say the dumbing down of America.
Yeah.
Like the dumbing down is crazy to the highest level. These people are just ignorant and don't even know it. Just smart dummies.
Smart dumbasses. Smart dumbasses.
Harriet said the best, man. Hardest thing she ever had to do was try to free a slave. She didn't know he was a slave. That's the craziest thing in the world.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
You would think that would be just, oh, that's a no-brainer, brother. We go to that today. You know how hard it is? We try to, look, Gracie, how many times you done got questions from people? What information can I do to help wake my family up?
Yeah.
That's the Harriet Tubman. The hardest thing she ever had to do was what you get more just asking the grand sheep all the time. Harriet then said that. That's the hardest thing.
Family. Shit. You better go grab your cat, take it in the house.
That's exactly what they better do. You better get your cat and go in the house.
Go in the house. Don't worry about wake up your family. If your family wants to wake up, they'll be like Yusuf's sister. Come tell you, hey, you know you're a Moor, right?
Yep.
Huh? What?
That's exactly how it goes.
What did he say? You know you're a Moor, right? The hell are you talking about?
Yep. Looks like just like that. That's how it be. My sister was my Harriet. My sister was my Harriet. She was my Harriet Tubman. Came right over there. Gave me that look like you better come on. Like you better come on. And you know all I'm gonna do is trust my sister. That's my sister.
You know what I mean? Crazy. That's like when freaking with my sister called me up one day. You have any books on like Moors and whatever? Like what? What the hell are you talking about? Oh well, my final paper. I have to do a thing on status or something like that, and you came to mind or whatever. Like what?
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, so we're gonna read that paper one day. One class, we're gonna read that paper.
Yo, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Because she
went in. I know that's a killer.
Yeah, she went in. She went in on him hard. She went on him hard. Yeah.
That's a whole class right there. We need to get her on here.
Yeah.
That's a whole class.
Yeah. We found out some shit.
Europeans acting like they don't know that this is our way. I can't believe this European up here talking crazy. That's what they do though.
Yeah.
They just when you playing video games all day, this is where your brain goes. This is where your brain goes. Europeans suffering too. Sitting there playing video games. Life riding in the way. He ain't been studying that Constitution. He paying taxes, mortgage, rent, everything. He dissing Moors when the saviors to him is the Moors. Only way all of that stuff goes away is if the Moors get their ancestral state back. That's the only way all these people's problems go away.
Well, yo, check this too. I was talking with Brother Omar yesterday about he's always making this joke about, don't you know we're living in Revelations or whatever, right? Because freaking there's always Revelation shit going on, or like, man, Revelations is now, forget some Bible shit, like Revelations is right now or whatever. So we were laughing yesterday because there was some rain here and some highways got flooded out and stuff like that. So he's killing himself. And he's like, yo, you got three options. You either burn.
What?
You got three options. You either burn, you either drown, or give the Moors their shit back.
Yo.
He's like, that's the only options right now. Nature's freaking on you now. Nature's on you now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Europeans burning up right now.
Right.
Can't even take a little 90 degrees. Dying.
Yep.
You know, that's it. There's 3 options, yo. That's your only options right now. So you pick one. You pick what you're gonna do. You're gonna give it the birthright back, or you're gonna drown or burn. Which one?
Because that's what it looks like that's happening.
Yeah,
That's exactly what it looks like that's happening.
Yeah, because they're about up to their shoulders in water right now. If they pick drown, if they pick drown, they're about there. If they pick burn, they already don't have enough suntan lotion. Like suntan lotion is not help. That's just helping them cook faster. So you don't even want to use suntan lotion. It's messed up right now.
They're having all type of earth problems.
Yeah.
Sinkholes and everything.
Yeah, earthquakes all over the place. You know what I mean?
I'm like, yo, sinkholes, just earth opening up. Like, you know what? We're bringing this whole thing down right now.
Yep. Swallowing everything.
Let's just bring this down.
Yeah.
That's a crazy like threat. You know what I mean? Like, you know what? You got all right. Nothing's gonna work. and you know, we just sitting here, like, like if it happens, it happens. You're not panicking.
Whichever one, we're good. Like whichever one, we're good. We're good. Pick one, we're good.
Like, let it come. Maybe I say no, let you feel.
Only the ones with a soul are gonna make it anyways. So what the hell?
Right.
Like, ain't nothing. Bring it all on. Bring it on. Bring the whole revelation shit. The 7-headed dragon, all that shit. Bring that shit. Bring all of that. What the hell? The souls are gonna freaking make it anyway. Playing around. Playing.
That's a perfect example. Because that's the only way. The whole planet, though.
Mm-hmm.
The whole planet. Only way the whole planet is gonna go back to the correct balance is if the Moors is at the head.
Exactly. Like the Moors have to be at the head, and not the head of that. We're the freaking sultans of some shit or whatever. The Moors have to be the ones that are recognized by everybody. That's what the head means. The Moors are the ones that when we walk out, everybody, oh, hey, there's a Moor, and every Moor knows already. It's our feathers up, turbans up, ain't no playing around when the handover happens. When the handover happens, like anything else is only happening in closed doors, not relative to Moors. Drink, smoke, dress anyway, wear whatever you want, whatever that only happens inside the house, inside the castles. Out in the world, we're pristine. When people see us, they back up when we walk through or ride through or whatever, however we decide to move. There's going to be a standard that's being set. Just like the Moor set the standard. Yo, you're supposed to shower more than 4 times a year as a standard. Try every day. Like, what? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean every day? Like, you know what it means? Shower 4 times a year, and then somebody shows you, hey, you know you could do that every day. What? What do you mean?
Yeah.
You mean I don't have to have lice and stuff like that, and I don't have to be scratching and smelling?
Because the Moors used to bathe before we went to war.
Because the pastor guy told us that if we wash ourselves, that's the devil. Pastor guy told us that water's the devil and soap's the devil. And being clean is the devil. Man.
What Dr. Ivan said about the modern European, their greatest kings lived in barns.
Yeah. Greatest kings lived in barns.
Their greatest kings lived in barns with their animals. They let their animals stay in the house.
Mm-hmm.
We taught them domestication. We taught them that, which was like life changing because that's where they were getting their diseases from and dying. They thought they can just sleep with the animals. We came in there, saved their life. Saved their life. They were dying. The plague was from being nasty. They think the plague was something like AIDS, like it was a disease. They better go.
No, the plague was being nasty ass. That was the plague.
Was filth. These people was not washing. That was the plague. And a Moor came. I forgot the name of the book, but you can check the research. A Moor came for came with the ingredient, I guess, to cure the plague. And guess what it was? Vinegar. I loved it when I read it. I said, the Moor brought vinegar. He said, you nasty MFers. I'm just going to soak y'all in vinegar.
Vinegar them up. Killed everything. That's crazy.
When I do houses, we furnish houses. You know that black stuff that be on top of the stove that don't come off. if you let some vinegar settle on that, it'll get it right off. It'll get it right off. It'll get it right off. We use vinegar to get that off. So like when I'm reading this, I'm like astounded. I'm like, yo, you know what you use for vinegar? We use that to clean, refurnish houses. Like that black grease that'll come off stoves. Yeah. That's what was on these Europeans. And nerve. Oh, this sovereign citizen bullshit? Bro, you didn't even watch.
Yep, you didn't even watch. Talking about more sovereign citizen.
You didn't even watch.
You shouldn't have walked and thrown out the window on people underneath it. Like how is that wise? Or piss in a bucket and then throw it out the window when people are walking by or whatever. And then the people walking by, Europeans, they just walk with stuff open or whatever. So they just got their bread right there, and then piss goes on the bread and all this stuff like that. And then they're not mad. It's just normal for people to throw piss and shit out the window. And you go home eating piss bread, talking about more sovereign citizens. Troglodytes tripping. Tripping troglodytes. Tripping troglodytes.
I remember, right. I remember Brother Abdullah was going in on them, speaking about the stench of Europeans back in the day. And then, in tobacco, because he was going in about how when the Europeans will walk in the facility of people, you can smell them. Like, literally, like they could clear a room. That's how bad the stench was when they would come. Like, it wasn't just like, you know how somebody been playing basketball and you can smell it, like, and doing some sweating.
He must be African.
They're talking about these Europeans came open up. They come into the gym and you smell them.
Yeah.
Like how you come into where you work out at and we smell you already. Like, and we leave it now because you came in here. Like, we can't stand that smell. That's what was going on back then. Like, people be like, oh, you can smell them now. But I was like, no. You don't understand how bad this was back then. And if I'm not mistaken, I think, right, the word plague is a German word for open wound. Because when they would, get flesh wounds or something like that, they didn't know nothing about put Band-Aids up or clean the wound up.
Right.
They would just leave it open. You know what I mean? And then it get infected. And that's how they were dying too, because of the infections of open wounds.
Imagine that smell. Imagine that smell. All these open wounds and stuff. We're just walking around like ain't nothing wrong with them.
What? in the world?
That's nasty. That's fucking nasty.
Yeah.
I always wanted that book too, Dirt or whatever that book was. It's Dirt, right? That it's called. Is it Dirt?
Yo, that's what I'm smelling. Open wounds.
Open wounds. Yeah. Europeans are not. Were not cool, yo. They were on some next level shit.
Yo, that's crazy. Cause and when you say that, it remind me. Remember them boys in the hood when they went and it was like, yo, you want to see a dead body?
Yeah,
and they went and they was like, yo, you smell that? Like it was like a dead body. That's an open wound.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they were walking around alive, smelling like dead bodies.
That's crazy.
That's amazing. That's amazing. But now that's that sovereign citizen bullshit, bro. Are you serious right now? You know, like, come on, man. Come on. But they have to do that role because other than that, this history we say about them is their history. They have to play this role because the truth is the opposite. These guys came here as slaves. We brought them here as slaves. We know that. They was paying hundreds of thousands, millions in gold and silver to the Moors up into the 18th century. They like that's the truth. But if they don't say, "Oh, that's sovereign citizen," like if they don't defame who we are.
Hold on. More in the chat said they had to wear the raw animal fur to get the maggots off the bodies.
Look at that.
That's crazy.
Look at that.
That is crazy.
Look at that.
Oh yeah, and fleas and whatever other dead stuff.
All that, what is it, syphilis, gonorrhea, all that stuff is indigenous to Europe.
Yeah.
That's not from here, or so-called Africa. This was like that's not even from here. That's not from here.
Yeah.
This guy, we looking at his ancestors. Bring that stuff here.
His ancestors, worms.
All of that. That's indigenous to Europe. That's their stuff. That don't come from us here. That's why it was easy for them to come over here and wipe us out. They call it smallpox.
Mm-hmm.
It was just nasty. Filth. The disease filth.
Imagine that. They hid the fact that it was just them being nasty and said diseases. And then now they're talking about, oh yeah, diseases, people got this and that. No, you're just nasty. Your beard, your skin.
It's nasty.
Your beard, dirty boy. You take a wash off.
That's what it was. No, what? Young people was nasty. What disease? What? God, no. It was just filth.
Yeah. That's crazy, yo. That is crazy.
It was filth. The smallpox, that's the cow disease. Y'all was sleeping with the animals. That's all that comes from. Y'all picking up diseases from animals. All it's the germs. It still carry on to this day. Where like you get ringworm or something like that. That's from being nasty. That's all filth. That's nasty. Nasty. I remember I used to wrestle. The Europeans got ringworms all day. All the time they would have ringworms. I used to do all this sports stuff. I was doing. These Europeans have ringworms all the time. To the point where I'm thinking, why don't I get it? I'm like, why I don't get them? Like, what's wrong with me? It's like, why I'm not getting ringworms?
Yo, and that was crazy too. When freaking people got them who weren't European, yo, that was like some
freaking quarantine shit.
Yep.
You're not supposed to get that. How you get that? You don't. Like you remember back in the day, Asiatics getting ringworm, and yo, nobody's not around them, yo. How you get that? Like, what are you doing that you got that?
What were you doing?
Like, what were you doing that you got ringworm as an Asiatic?
And that's what that. Yo, I remember that. Phil, the European is just ringworm. I'm like, what is wrong? Not bathing, just practicing. Coming to school, not bathing. Coming back to school, practicing. Not bathing. Coming back to school, practicing.
What?
That's how you get it. That's how you get it. That's how you get it. That's exactly how you get it. I remember that. And then it's wrestling is a very filthy sport. Very filthy sport. The wrestling mat itself, we would have to mop the wrestling mats before every practice. We roll them out and mop them.
Yep.
And me as a young one, being in my house, every 3 uses of the mop, my mom gonna go buy another mop. That mop is done. That mop is done.
That they've been at that mop for 5 years. 5 years that mop's been mopping up freaking sweat.
Yo, same mop. Same bucket. That yellow mop bucket turning brown and black now. It's not even look at it. And we just mop it. You know, as soon as I get home, it's straight to the shower. My mom don't take your clothes off in the hallway. Don't even bring them in my house. that's how the world
outside. Leave your shoes outside. They smell from here. Leave your shoes outside. And the socks.
Go right
too.
in the shower.
And the socks. Yep.
Go right in the shower. These Europeans going to their friend's house.
Yeah.
Right after practice. They go to their friends. They're going to go play.
Go sit on the bed and sing.
Yep.
Sit on the bed.
Go lay down right in their clothes. Right on the bed. Just lay down. Right wherever.
Nasty.
Yeah. To this day, and nothing changed. They like my when we furnishing houses, the dude told me, he broke it down. He said, "Oh, you know, because they use white people or whatever." He says, "Oh, these white people, they nasty. They only keep their lawn cut." I was dying laughing. I could not stop laughing. He said they only keep their lawn cut. You go in their house, they nasty. I was like, what? He said, I done painted a bunch of houses and just telling me his job experience. And I'm listening to him and he's just telling me, these little houses in, the suburbs or whatever, and them people just keep the outside looking good. You go inside, nasty. I said, I can imagine. I can just imagine.
Crazy. That's nuts.
And got the nerve. Now, 2019, people, sovereign citizens. Brother, your house dirty.
Yep. Look behind them. You can see it's a mess back there.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Bed
you know that.
Made up. Goddamn troglodyte. Islam to all the Moors. These clowns don't need any more time. Don't forget, this Sunday, Canaanland Moor's class is not going to be happening. We'll try to record something, have a little upload, but we're going to be at Brother Lanray's brunch, 5 principles, cuisines, brunch, once a month, Sunday, 11 to 2 p.m. at Fusion Lounge, 880 Kennedy, 880 Ellesmere, right at the corner, upstairs, Fusion Lounge. Peace and love to all Moors. Don't forget, next week, 1 week away. 1 week away.
Yep.
1 week away. Show my brother Yusuf. Chill for a little bit. So we'll be out there. yusufl720@gmail.com for more information. yusufl720@gmail.com for more info. And what else is there? Anything you got, Brother Yusuf, before we close out?
Now just give thanks to the Prophet, Islam to the Grand Sheik from the platform, Islam to the Moors in the chat. And you already gave the shout out for the next week, so we good to go. We growing. We good.
It's good. Peace and love, Moors. Don't forget, study, study, study. Keep your minds open to the truth, because it is out there. Keep your minds open.
Oh yeah, give thanks to Brother Miz.
Well, Islam to Brother Miz, yes, as sons of Allah.
Yep.
Forgot.
Yep.
Give Islam to
give
sons
thanks
of Allah.
for letting me fill in for him. Give thanks big time for that.
Islam, and
Both
give thanks. Give
Both of
thanks
them.
for MHHS, Eyes Wide Open, for giving us the platform, even though we didn't use the platform tonight. But still give thanks to the mothers, because we gotta just give thanks to the mothers. We gotta give mothers their apples.
Absolutely.
Just because. Every time. Islam, Moors, and you already know.
So it's gonna get you in. What? I'm rocket. Who says we ain't in the building? Who says we ain't into building? We the Moorish master masons, architects, for your children, repping Friday 13th like Jason, without the killing, but we promote life. Oh, it's all about the feeling, and we invoke light, yo. We them light beings. Though you might see him on the block getting his posture, might be talking to cops, giving them caution, occasionally wearing his vest when he's walking. See the turning heads, whispering, gawking, but he's locked in and he's zoned out while we boxed in our own house.
Study the mystics, the adepts, the magi, wisdom of the ancients can uncalcify eyes. Possible mission, free mental numbness, extract the substance with minds of darkness. Use the source, don't care what some purport, as we know by being told man knows not. Many before the floor, souls got bought, placed in the devil's hands, ruling the seven lands. To dogma rituals, negro spirituals, brainwash subliminal, keeps thinking to a minimal. They're still criminal, in a world digital so pitiful. Mental survival so critical, it's visible. Can you see past righteous blocks? Hashtag zombies with waves of cyberpunk. No need for cell phones, they speak to soft arms. It's nothing for alarm, chips and forearms.
Wind, brass, and bass, such a beautiful serenade. Women feeding me grapes, I'm feeding the Henry serenade. Whether the sky is clear or gray, rain when you hear a fake, giving life to see. Speaking through who not here today. Show you the future in a glimpse. Then I was looked to these holes like hallucinatory pimps. Sun walked the desert, been more of a since I found God. Look back, used to see his prince. Forget being a prince, I'm a G. OD, grown man, no Jody. Deny you don't know me. Don't make me tap into the old me. That's like a couple hundred years. Walk around town with a couple hundred peers and release the peace of up fears. The sun gon' shine, so what tears? This young brother here just trying to get his third eye clear.
Moors don't sleep, invest in your mind and body and unleash. Real life rap, spitting over tracks, conscious thinking and living and then attack. This deep. Moors don't sleep, invest in your mind and body and unleash. Real life rap, spitting over tracks, conscious thinking and living and then attack.
So as the moon sets, the sun takes its place and spoons on blocks, inspired spots, filled spaces, real rats, who got cases, fire stain the corridors of flemo faces, game changers, rule benders and no pretenders, style benders, channel my vibe through the vibrant optic lenses, send a message to our veterans, soldiers up and get it in, we on our birds, we are merged subliminal beings, third eye seeing, still I participate unwilling.
They wanna break me, break me, rolling with my name G, double O-M-D, S-O-N is crazy, for a minute that you think you could take me for a fool, like a native to his land, being schooled by a foreign dude, mistakenly, spiders on the roof, in the dark tools, I've been saying you mistakenly, to better move for our market, power is my tongue, to resistance to target, revealing all lies and deceit on the market, genocide, carry out in pockets, I knock it, down bulldozer, baby to Goliath, it's an exposure, some big heads moving and it's getting closer to your downfall, round up on your soldiers.
Little homie, I was seeking a fortune, tired of misfortune. I just wanted a portion, everything that I never had, though I needed my portion. Blowing like porcelain, haters cracking the porcelain. Getting broke, tired of being broke. How we acquire hope is the teacher still as a dope, just to keep us afloat. Might as deep as the boat. Brain is a lethal weapon, we want need to elope. When I speak, I provoke. Walk in the room with my aura feeling like heavy smoke. Feel like when they let me roll under my Louis fitted the semi-coat. Cause then we capture the kid, boy, yeah, the joke. The cost of living, higher profits and private printing. These little girls are sunny bodies just to pay tuition. These little niggas sunny niggas just for bill condition. It's like this thing never end the break and end the mission. I wanna free the world, but I'm one man. A couple ones like me, let me one plan. I wanna free the world, but I'm one man. A couple ones like me, one plan.